Hello and welcome to another episode of the.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
For real now.
Are we playing Cthulhu?
Weird. As I
Was
started
that
talking, my
dwarvish?
mouth just filled up with bloody saliva.
It's the oil.
It's a potato salad. What?
This is going to be a good one.
It's gonna be like a Call of Cthulhu episode. Oh, it's the Halloween episode.
Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to another episode. Shush you, that's the second interruption. This is just crazy. Welcome to the episode of the Windswift as we desperately try to start this episode. It's taken us a few false starts, I can tell you. Anyway, Dice of Destiny, thank you for joining us anyway. Dice of Destiny will tell us who of these miscreants is going to tell us just what's going on within the world. And that's Blackston. Blackston, tell us what happened last week on the Windswift.
We landed and got into the harbour, spoke to the harbour master, and paid him. That's it. After that, we kind of split up and doing different business in the city. And Yorick stayed with the ship to see if everything's all right and concentrate a little bit on his own internal strife. So the two ladies, well, it's not entirely true, but I should say,
1.5.
yeah, I guess, went to shop for some magical items and scrolls, as well as memorabilia.
Yeah, don't you forget it.
And Con and Blackston went out to solve problems with the ship first and try to find like somebody who would repair it, and then went to the Druids, where Con then went in alone and spilled the beans, telling basically is it Archdruid?
Oaken.
Oaken?
Oaken, yeah.
Oaken, everything that is going on nefarious with the Order. And then Con had to drink white substance, which then knocked him out and made him to a tree. And when he came back, situations happened. But after that, the Druids trusted him, because that is needed to trust with the Druids. Okay, strange sect. But in the end, it came out that the Druids maybe even now want to go to war with the vampires, because the treaties are just, well, not worth the paper they're written on, basically, in their eyes. Meanwhile, Blackston was basically waiting. He was approached by a female druid, who then kind of started to plan and interrogate him on how to basically deal with the Duke on board our ship. And the other thing in the end that happened is that Kat spoke with the Jet and told them what happened with Hundkin. And if you want to go and see it in more detail, rewatch last week's episode.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was great.
And yes, so we'll pick up with Blackston on the balcony with that very severe young druid, and she looks at you and she says, I think we can contain him until the sun rises tomorrow morning, but you're going to have to get your people off of that boat without alerting him that you're doing that. Is that possible?
I will make it so.
All right, then. I don't want to delay this any longer than possible. When last did he feed? Do you know? Well, we're just going to have to hope that he doesn't leave the ship before you get your people off.
I'll make sure of it.
If you can't, or if he becomes aware that you're doing that, is there any way that you can signal me? And then I'm just going to entomb whomever is on that ship.
You will know.
All right. Well, I suppose you have an hour then.
Con will be returning in that time, or?
What he and the Oatkin are going to be doing, I'm not sure. The Oatkin doesn't perceive time in the same way that we do. But
well,
we can certainly try and have him back.
I stand up and I kind of look her in the eyes and say, well, if I don't see Con again, tell him it was an honor.
I will do so. You have an hour. Good luck, I suppose.
All right. Then I kind of stand up, head for the ship.
All right, you head for the ship. Adversai and Saket, you are shopping for wares.
Well,
No, I think it goes
Adversai
pretty
is shopping.
Scared is desperately trying to limit the damage. Yeah, I imagine they just want to find like some souvenir, basically, to remind them of this place, and then just go back to the ship. Really,
All right.
I actually had an idea where I've thought of like a small tree sculpture that has been grown rather than carved, and it sort of comes out into this sort of
A bonsai tree.
Yeah,
sort of, but like a sculpture into like a proper shape, like an animal shape or something like that,
Right.
like organically grown.
Yeah, it's
No.
kind of like a crystal
Giraffe,
cat
something,
or
I don't know.
A giraffe, there we are. All right.
Why
Okay,
not?
so that's what you're sort of scouting for, looking around. Absolutely. You can find that there are many druid crafts, wood that's been knotted around itself so that you look at it and you go, oh, how'd you do that? And, you know, it's one of those little
Druid
conversations.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And the various deformed things. Are there any giraffe around? As a matter of fact, there's a long-necked creature which, when you ask the vendor if it's a giraffe, the vendor says, could be a giraffe,
Maybe.
could be a llama or a giraffe. It's really depending on how short a giraffe's neck needs to be for it to become a llama. So let's go with giraffe then. So you pick up your organically grown 100% druid craft giraffe figure.
It's a girama.
Right. It's a girama. There we go.
Yes.
He likes it. And yeah, the rest of the shopping is fairly mundane. The Druid Isles, it's although the place is very serene and tranquil, most of it is just onboarding resources that they import from the international suppliers. And then the exports, obviously, of what they have in vast quantity, which is very, very high quality wood. And very rare woods as well. So the shopping sort of simmers down to being quite mundane after a while, actually. Once you've got your sculpture, is there anything else that the two of you are doing?
Some local spices, I think.
Yeah,
for their collection.
Food.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. So you bump into
spices.
you bump into Lieutenant Ty, who doesn't look like Lieutenant Ty at all. You only realise it's her because of the way she's speaking to the merchant. You will place that in a bag, and then you will have it delivered to the ship.
I thought you were supposed to stay in the ship.
Her hair is down, and
oh my god, she's in civvies.
Right, she's in civilian clothing, absolutely.
Oh my god.
And of course, when she turns around and sees the two of you, she literally looks like someone who's trying to turn herself inside out and will her hair back into the tight bun that it always sits in. But that infernal stuff just hangs there, looking rather pretty, actually.
I woke up and I say, "Good God, Lieutenant! I didn't recognize you with the clothes on."
What?
I mean, these clothes, the civilian clothes.
Well then, I had no idea.
So did I.
So that's what you use your divination magic for.
I'm gonna say, cat has needs.
Well, it's nothing against regulations.
No. I wasn't. It wasn't in a negative way. It's good to see you out here. We're just doing some shopping.
Yes, I've nearly concluded shopping for most of the ship's supplies. There's some things that Hurricane's written down, I'm afraid, Captain Saket, that I'm rather out of my depth on. She hands you a list of various, it looks like mushrooms and roots and tubers and things, which sound very exotic, but you're fairly certain you'll be able to find them here without too much difficulty. All right, so the two of you are shopping for vegetables. All right, so that's what you're doing. Jorik, you're on the ship.
Yes. Keeping her afloat, I suppose.
Right. So since you're the only one there, the sun has now set, and Fangvir and the two gnomes come up onto deck. You can hear them. They're laughing quite raucously. Someone has obviously cracked a joke that tickled all of them. And then they see you, and Quallen walks over to you, and Waffen, as a matter of fact, and they say, all right, sir, well, you see, the thing is, we reckon that the ship will probably be good to go in about 3 days or so. What Fangvir is proposing to do is quite radical, actually. It's quite remarkable, to be perfectly... It's genius is what it is, says Fangvir, walking up from behind.
Quite proud of himself.
I don't know where those other two captains are, but they certainly played me for quite the fool that I was. I now see that I should have been more wary of their bravado, just walking into my shipyard like that and making a wager. Nonetheless, you can tell them that they've won. I'll do the repairs for nothing. But I wanted known that it was Fangvir who made your ship shipshade. And I have
like a
found...
subtitle.
That may not be a good thing.
Enhanced by Fangvir.
Now, you can also tell your captains that I'm ignoring the flapper damage that's evident on the port side because, well, technically it's not required for a sailing ship, is it?
No.
No, on that point, Captain, says Waffen, am I to take it that we're to remove the flappers? You don't provide anything but drag right now.
That is correct. We are not going to fly for, I look at Fangvir, quite a while.
And I also take it that we're going to remove all of the gearing systems.
Yes, they're just unnecessary weight at this point.
I can begin work tomorrow, but I would like to spend some time with the ship tonight. What I propose to do is I'm going to awaken the wood in the hull and basically just inspire it to grow shut. It'll be a perfect seal and it won't ever leak. You will have to make sure, however, that you give it certain nutrients from time to time, otherwise it's liable to crack open like a walnut and then you'll sink to the bottom of the ocean. But I'd count that as captain's error rather than as manufacturer's problem.
Right. And what about the crew during this growing process?
Don't care about the crew as long as they don't get in my way.
I just mean, can they stay on the ship or do we need to evacuate the ship?
No. The process is fairly harmless. I'll begin to awaken the wood tomorrow morning. It usually takes about 8 hours or so. Sometimes with older wood that's been more treated, it can take a bit of time. But once it's awakened, start the growing process tomorrow night. It should be done by tomorrow, the next day's evening, if everything grows accordingly. And you won't even notice it. We're going to seal over that lower hatch straight away. I mean, what a daft idea, putting a hatch into the bottom of a ship. I mean, as if only the gnomes would do something like that. Leave it to them to design a gigantic hole in the bottom of a ship. I mean, that's absolutely, no offense. He looks down at the two gnomes. They're looking up at him like, no, none taken whatsoever. It was a genius move. We're aware of it. You're not aware of it because you're not a gnome. It's absolutely anyway, so the sort of banter happens. And at the end of it, Fangvir says, right, so you'll supply me with supper then, will you?
Yes, why not?
Right. Well, I'll be in the lower hall if you need me. He turns and heads down. And
sure. And I look at Waffen and the Drakenstokes and keep an eye on him, will you? This is still an order ship.
Well, for whatever that might mean, says Waffen as he walks past, Quallen turns to you and says, if I could turn wood as half as good as he can, you wouldn't need me on the ship, really. It would just sort of look after itself. Anyway.
Good thing he's not on the ship then, isn't it?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, he's pretty handy, but I don't think you'd coax him out of his shipyard. He's lord there. Over here, he'd just be a carpenter. And I don't think that appeals to him very much. But anyway, at least what remains of the Windswift, at least it'll be better than it was before, and that, I think, is what counts.
Really, Drakenstoke? From you?
Well, Waffen is particularly attached to the flying part of it, but, well, I've always just liked the ship, really. I suppose it's because I work with the wood, and that doesn't really matter.
Meanwhile, Black's coming back.
So So,
about the ship.
about that ship we had.
We're sinking it. Yeah. So anyway, Quallen then sort of nods and he heads below deck as well. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Back to you, Con. The old druid is looking at you. So, once we help you to overthrow this order, what do you plan on doing?
No pressure.
Well, overthrow seems a rather radical idea. We rather prefer the concept of a readjustment of its operating
Reform.
paradigm, which is a far less destructive and...
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. It has been a while since you last were free to roam in a wood, isn't it?
To be sure.
So you have forgotten the ways of nature. When an organization no longer functions, nature doesn't try and prop it up or give it a new home to live in. It gets fed upon by those that are designed to do that, and another organization takes its place.
But you forget that every organism has a chance to self-correct.
Do you think the Order's been aware for the last 300 years that they've been using dragons to power their ships?
When you say the Order, I presume you refer to the Archon.
I don't know how that organization works. I wasn't present when they were establishing the treaties. That was the elves' work. We were busy trying to keep the planet from burning to the ground.
We can't simplify this to an analogy of organisms. We're on a singular level, to be sure. There's a lot more at stake than that. The kind of chaos that would be unleashed by a sudden collapse of centuries-old order would mean a lot of unnecessary death to those who are undeserving of it. And as you know...
Death is part of the cycle of life, Con. You know that.
Death is indeed part of the cycle of life, but that does not give license to irresponsibly create conditions where disproportionate amounts of death occur, where lives are wasted, which might be better served in living them out and fulfilling their potential. No, I mean, the Order is a flawed organization which needs to adapt to survive, and we propose to begin the process of purging those bits which are not suitable, that make it unfit.
All right. We can do it your way for a century or so, I suppose. And then after that, it will be our way, the way of nature. So you are going to cull this order, the 5 of you, I understand.
Easy peasy.
Well, we will try. All of this is very new.
Yes, you are wolf cubs abandoned by your den mother. You have no concept of what you should become yet. And I will give you the room in which to make your own decisions. But you must understand, we now know what is going on. The trees don't lie. We have seen what you have seen, Carmo Danner, and we will not forget it.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
So, You have a century within which to correct your order. If it is not done, we will then just erase every member of the order. It is not above the Druids to do that. As to the vampire problem, I think that we have been patient long enough. We have evidence that a vampire was trying to invade our territory. That is grounds, I think, sufficient to convince anyone who might try and stop us that it is foolish to do so. So, I believe the problem of the vampire is being handled as we speak.
Really?
I thought this guy was supposed to be old and wise.
Old and wise and very stubborn.
Yes.
Don't move.
Have you ever dealt with old people?
The
2,000 years old.
The undead are aberrant to the cycle of life, which we are all subservient to.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you agree. So, your purging of the order, we will support you without any hesitation, as best as we can. With regards to the invasion of Drakenmoore, you will make sure that your order won't get in the way either.
Well, invading Drakenmoore is no small undertaking.
We have been prepared for 300 years.
No doubt. And what of the people currently living in the thrall of the vampires? What would be their fate?
I am not interested in the people of Drakenmoore. I'm only interested in obliterating the vampires that perpetuate the cycle. Once the vampires are destroyed, the people will have self-governance. They can do what they like, as long as they don't violate the laws of nature. Obviously, Druids will be instilled in all of the forests to restore them to their natural splendors. But there won't be any implications of the local citizens. The vampires won't have enough time to mobilize their armies, if that's what you're worried about.
Well, far be it for me to dictate the strategy of the Druids.
So you endorse it then as your position of new head of the order?
I'm not sure. Well, that we certainly seem to be getting ahead of ourselves on that front.
That's what you're asking to do, isn't it? You said it yourself. Remove the corrupt elements of the order and steer it on a new course, the course it was meant to be steered on in the first place.
Led by a druid.
I can only assume that you are going to adopt that position yourself. And the two of us, I'm quite happy that a druid will be at the head of this order. I think it's about time that some good natural understanding was brought to bear.
You make an interesting point.
Of course I do. The children of this planet, you run around with your petty politics, not understanding nature doesn't care. The mountains don't suddenly stop being mountains because a pharaoh falls over and hurts his knee. No.
Well, no.
Blackston.
The mountains grow regardless.
Yes, they do. Blackston, back to you. You're walking down.
Okay, so I need to backpedal here a slight bit. So I assume in the harbor itself there are inns?
Yes, there's taverns and that sort of thing. Absolutely.
Okay, so before going to the ship, then I would seek out like a tavern or an inn or some such.
Easy enough.
And see if they have rooms for, how many people are we about? Like 25?
Right. 25.
Doesn't need to be single rooms, obviously, but
all right. It takes you a good sort of 15 minutes to find a place big enough. You head to buildings that look like they're big enough.
Right. I mean, I could also go to different, like, say, hey, do you have 10 for 10 people? Do you have, I just...
Sure.
All right. I would then book the room for the night.
One night, absolutely, not a problem.
So how much is it?
One night, you say for 20 people?
Sure.
Oh, 20 people, that's 4 gold pieces. No, wait a minute, hang on a minute. It's 5 silver pieces a person, and you've got...
I give him 5 gold pieces, whatever.
That's 5, it's 10. That's 10.
I'm already out of the...
Oh. Well, I suppose you can make up the difference later. I've never been good at maths, actually. Funny that I went into running a hotel, she says.
Weird decision now that I think of it.
Why am I a banker? I hate math.
What am I doing with my life? I'm shutting this hotel down. I'm going to be a musician. Oh, sorry.
All right.
I mean, just take it.
Everyone's changing their destiny.
Down payment or whatever, right?
Right. No, absolutely. She doesn't.
Adventures of the Windswift, where we change everyone's fate.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. All right. So you've secured your hotel. Where are you?
Yeah, and then I go back to the ship.
All right. You get back to the ship. You encounter Naket. He's standing on duty. He gives you a nod as you arrive.
I would ask then for either of the first or second officer to be there. So it's been Naxun or...
sorry, yes, it's Naxun, not Naket. Sorry, Naxun is standing there waiting. All
right, so if he's already there, I would ask him, like, who is on the ship, who left the ship.
Currently, at the moment, Lieutenant Tai and Captains Con, Captains Adrasai and Saket are not on board. But Captain Blackson is, well, not you're Captain Blackson, Captain Jorik is, and now I'm here, obviously, as well as our guest, Fangfear, and he is in the lower hold, sir.
Mm-hmm. So basically everybody except the captains and Jisai.
Lieutenant Tai, yes, sir.
Okay. Cool. Can you gather them in the mess hall or mess hall room? I don't know what we call it.
Yes, absolutely. Not a problem, sir.
I will seek out Yorick myself.
All right. He goes to one of the...
I'm right here.
I don't know where you are right now.
Yeah.
I'm standing on deck just at the bow of the ship.
And then I would just head over to
Jorik. All right. Absolutely. So you hear... Naxun open up the speaking horn. All crew to please...
No, when he does this, I say, like, please go to them personally. Thank you very much. Like some sort of...
Yes, sir. Very well. I will do so.
Like, okay.
So he heads below deck.
Yes, and the only thing that I tell him before going on the deck, I assume we still have guards in the brig? No, we don't? Did we pull them all out? Okay, then it doesn't matter. I wasn't sure. All right. Okay, then I go over to Yorick and basically tell him what the situation is, that I was approached by the Druids after Con kind of went in. They asked us to make sure that our guest stays on board, and I am very determined to do this.
Fangvier wants to...
I don't think...
Invited to supper. How about we simply have that supper off
land? I think that's a perfect idea.
Yes.
That's good. All right. Do you have any ideas, any plans? I plan to go into the brig and talk to our guest so he doesn't leave.
The thing is, he can come and go as he pleases. There's not
much. That's why I want to be in the brig when this happens.
I thought they were supposed to destroy the ship, or did I misunderstand you?
No, if we don't need to destroy the ship.
All right.
Just have to keep him here for the sun to rise. That's what's going to happen. And if he wants to leave, then the ship will fall. I hope it doesn't come to it.
No. Blackston, are you planning on keeping him here yourself? He is a vampire lord. As much as I hate them, they're very powerful beings.
Yes, I need him to stay here, and I will do anything in my power to keep him here.
Including just straight up dying. Because he will walk all over you.
If that is what it takes, yes. If you have another better plan, I'm more than willing to hear it.
Yeah, there must be a better solution.
Well, then tell me. It is already night. I don't think we have...
No, let's see to the crew first, and we can discuss this during the day, or during the...
During the next day, let's go to sleep.
All right.
No, but we can discuss this during
doing our walk down and thinking.
Right. Okay. Back to the two of you who are shopping. Your shopping has sort of come to a bit of an end, I suppose. It's late night. Shops are starting to close up as everyone starts heading home or heading out to various places that prepare food. What are the two of you doing, Saket and Adversary?
I suppose we're grabbing the stuff on the list.
Yeah, and grabbing some street food while we're at it because I'm getting tired and I need to eat.
Yeah, you know.
Gotta eat. And there's no locusts and honey on here. It's just a terrible shame.
A lot of squirrels. Deep fried
squirrels on a stick. Nice.
Squirrel on a stick. Yeah. All right. So,
nice.
So you saw that.
And I want to grab some spices for my personal stash.
Yeah. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. I think if you two quite happily chalk up 4 gold pieces each, you've had quite a nice night out on the town. What time are you planning on getting back to the ship? It's going to be quite late.
Tomorrow.
No. We'll
get things done and head back. I think. Sort of see how things went. Not too late. Like we're just going to do stuff and then sort of get some food while we're there, and then we're going to head back.
All right. Would both of you please give me a wisdom saving throw?
Oh God, another one.
Oh.
No, I'm no good at saving throws.
That did not go well.
12.
Oh, that's better than me. I got a total of 3.
Oh dear.
I'm totally gonna get screwbarred here.
Oh dear. So, yes. Well, this is interesting. The two of you are busy chatting away over some roast squirrel on a stick. And you're approached by 3 very tall individuals. These are lycanthropes, and they're fairly muscular, fairly well-built young men, and they strike up a conversation with the two of you, and then they offer to show you somewhere where you can get something to eat that you tourists don't get. It's local Druid cuisine. It's a particular type of mushroom that grows only within Sanctuary's forest, and it's at one of the local taverns. There's very good sauces on offer, and the tavern itself, you can get these little mug things because they can see you've got packets full of stuff with acorn sort of decorations on it. It's all grown naturally by the Druids in trees and things. And unfortunately, against your better judgment, because the food is on offer and the tavern is open, so everyone can see that there's nothing strange going on here. It's just 3 young lycanthropes wanting to take 2 young, interesting-looking foreigners to experience local Druid cuisine.
Are both of us going along with it?
Yeah. I've made mistakes like this before.
But it looks out over the harbour.
Yeah, but we've got a lot of stuff we've got to drop off at the boat first, and I can imagine when we get there
back later.
Drama, because we can come meet you later.
Yeah, we're not quite done with work for today, but we can return later.
All right.
Sounds very interesting. We can meet you up here in a couple of hours.
We'll be waiting at the tavern then.
Cool.
Excellent.
When you say mushrooms, I just want to check their normal mushrooms. We're not going to have like an exciting night of
It's
hallucinations.
Druid cuisine.
No,
So,
We're not going to
yeah.
have an episode, are we?
no,
Those
it's
are
not.
normal mushrooms. What are you talking about?
It's the color of these mushrooms. They only grow in the hollows of very old oak trees. They're iridescent. And,
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Sounds amazing.
Your
flavor.
throat's like illuminated.
I'll watch Adressai eat one and see what happens.
All right,
I'll take that.
For now, you beat a hasty retreat back to the ship with promises of returning, and you can see the three of them taking up chairs. They've got a table on the deck. This particular tavern, it does really command an excellent view of the harbour, which at night is lit up with torches, and there's fairy lights that have been cast out over the various sort of eateries and that sort of thing. It's very, very, very almost romantic in its own kind of way. Until eventually, yes. So you do head back to the ship. You don't sit down with the gents.
No, I think we've insisted on meeting them up later.
All right. Okay. So you get back to the ship to find Blackston and Jorik have assembled the crew in the mess hall.
I knew there would be some sort of drama by the time we got back. Isn't it?
Oh,
We've
what's
just been
what's
shopping.
going on?
All
The
right.
Pantheon is a lie. No, just kidding.
Oh, goodness.
What happened?
Well, I guess we
All right.
join them at the...
Yep. You do. What are
Onto
you
the
saying
ship.
to them?
So what's going on?
What's occurring?
What's happening, guys?
Do you want to do this, Blackston, or shall I?
And I think I just say, halfly maybe addressing the crew as they come back, perhaps, if that's the situation. I would then address the crew and say, well, we've been on this boat for a long time, and if we stick together, and I look at Hurricane when I say this, because he needs to get off the boat as well, right? If we stick together, I think we don't run any danger. But I've booked every one of you a room in the Luminous Pearl.
Luminous Pearl. Okay, I had another name, but sure, Luminous Pearl it is.
In the Luminous Pearl, for you to stay for the night, and for you to enjoy yourself,
Why?
but not too much.
What's going on?
Nothing is going on, and I look at her intently.
Okay, well, the crew can go to the Luminous Pearl, and Blackston, I think we need to have a meeting in the war room.
Sorry to interrupt, says Waffen Qualen. We've got a business we're going to have to decline, sir. We've got a stranger on board the vessel.
Yes, he's invited too. He wanted supper.
Aye, but it's got to stay with the wood, sir. He's got a tune to it or whatever it is that they do. So we
But he
won't bring
wasn't going to start until the morning, was he?
Yeah, but it's going to take him
He
time.
can start in the morning. It's not a hurry.
Are you going to tell him, sir? I certainly quite like the idea of staying in the Luminous Pearl. It sounds quite classy, but it's more about duty's a duty, and I certainly won't leave him on the ship unattended.
No.
Absolutely not.
We'll deal with it.
We'll speak with him.
Well, then, I guess we're going on a holiday.
And is Jasani back at this point?
Yes, she is. She's standing, looking very
I
severe.
would then hand her another 50 gold
She did.
for expenses.
All right.
And I think with her, I actually can expect maybe something to return if necessary.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Might I have a word with the crew alone once you have retired to the map rooms, captains?
Of course.
Feel free.
It's a short vacation, don't forget this.
Absolutely. Everyone will be back aboard the ship at 800 hours tomorrow morning. She waits
All right.
for you to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go up to the map room.
Yeah, you can hear some shouting coming from the mess hall. It doesn't sound very pleasant, actually. The words you do catch up, because it's obviously you're a deck above.
Right.
You still catch things like, and don't let me catch you violating the grouping rule either. Just because you're on holiday doesn't mean that you can talk to each other. It's things like that that sort of drift up. From it.
No fraternizing with the indigenous people.
Or each other.
It goes on for about 10 minutes, and eventually she says, "Now, everyone must go and have fun." The captains have paid a lot of
fun
money
is mandatory.
for holiday. Yeah. So,
Someone's gonna need to talk to that woman soon.
all right. You
She's
then,
fine.
I think she needs to let her hair down more often.
Yes.
you then hear footsteps as everyone leaves. Back to you, Con.
So, if you're presuming that I, as Lord of the Orders newly remade, would not get in the way of druidic conquest of vampire territory.
I think you should just get rid of the entire idea that all the nations must sit quietly and stagnate.
So you have no immediate intention of invading Drakenmoore. This is a long-term plan, I assume, since we are nowhere near completing our side of things.
How long will it take for you to purge the Order?
It's probably not a century, though. These things tend to pick up pace once they really get going.
Well, that's what I thought exactly.
So I assume that you are going to wait at least a century before you attack Drakenmoore. It would make sense.
Know that we could attack Drakenmoore tomorrow morning if we so chose.
I take comfort from this because Drakenmoore is indeed a blight on this world, but chaos lets in worse things, and if we artificially engineer it without need, we are violating the other aspect of nature, that of impartiality, the ultimate impartiality.
Perhaps you haven't forgotten too much of your druidic training. Impartiality it might be, but those vampires have weaseled their way around with impunity for far too long.
We've stomached it this long. We can stomach it a little while longer.
Yes, you have.
The dragons
exactly
almost
100
broke
years.
through.
And they must be stopped, and that is why the Druids are behind you. When you
We
make
must solve that problem first.
we will be there. Now, if there is
If
anything
my
else,
shipmates are facing this Dark Duke, is there any aid I can ask of you that we can defeat it? We have at least this opportunity to cull their number, and it's legitimate. No one would dispute it.
I mean, he's dead for all they know, right?
you
Yeah, we didn't kill anyone, technically.
understand. We're not going to kill him.
What then?
We're going to take him and keep him as our own little prisoner.
Right. Well,
Hubris!
I
The
see.
information that he has in his brain as to the operational and tactical capabilities of the vampires is invaluable. Not to mention the fact that, although I have full trust in you, Con O'Donnell, should the orders not necessarily be swept aside by new change, we may need leveraging.
Nice.
But what
So-
you propose is not much dissimilar from what the Order have been doing.
It is
with their-
totally dissimilar. At no point will we keep this vampire alive any longer than we absolutely need to. He is an implement to their destruction, nothing more. Do not mistake our leniency with him now for clemency for his entire species. He will be obliterated, as will the rest of the vampires. That is an oath I have made to our most sacred of trees. It will be done. But sometimes we need to step lightly.
I'm glad he has the concept of subtlety at least, even if he doesn't like apply it very often.
Subtlety, eh?
He knows what it is.
You heard the word. You once read it. Yeah.
Yes. Didn't think much of it at the time.
It's like the Jack Sparrow moments, right? Like, yeah, I see them, wave them as they go by.
Now, they are your companions. He waves a hand and one of the druids comes over. What has Uthrad decided to do? And the druid turns and says, the Captain Blackston, I believe, the human on your crew, Con of Dana, he
Like me,
has
yes,
gone to
human.
evacuate the ship. I believe they're going to attempt to entrap the vampire within its hold within the next hour, from what I understand.
My ship?
You see, the vampire will be entombed within whatever it is that Uthrad will use, and he will be our prisoner.
Well, yes, but my ship.
It's a structure. We'll get you another one.
Okay.
Con is like,
No, but.
More to the point, the crew, and how exactly are they going to... Okay.
Oh, you're as bad as a mother bear cub. Go and join your family. See how they're going to perpetuate our plan. We'll talk more when you're less worried about them. It's good to have feelings for your families.
Well,
Feelings and things.
sure. Just not sure how we're going to catch you a vampire lord at this point, but...
You don't have to worry about it. Uthrad will do all of the work.
Right.
All that your fellow Blackston needs to do is keep the vampire on the ship.
Right.
Easy mode.
Okay. Well, I'm very grateful for your time, Oakin.
No, time is not important. You've done a very difficult thing today, Con O'Donnell. You have chosen sides, and often that is the most difficult path to tread. But I think you have chosen the right one. Certainly you have chosen the winning one.
With a sense of inner irony, Con smiles a bit. Yes, I have chosen a side. It's true.
Stab.
Long
That's sort of
live the
look
druid.
about me for the way out.
As you're leaving, you hear the old man mutter something, and there's a sort of a flurry of activity. And as you're being led to the exit, the portal, you realize now that the edge of this glade, there are hundreds of portals that line the edge. The wall is not actually solid, it's just portals leading out, and each one of them has a sort of an amber window, if you like, looking out into different vistas. Some are mountainous, some are planar, plains with grazing animals, some are foresting, etc., etc. But you know that the network of the trees is almost everywhere, and it facilitates near instantaneous travel. So as you get to the portal, the aide who was helping the Oakin comes up to you and says, he wanted me to give you this. And he hands you this rather, it almost looks like it's been carved. It's so smooth. This wooden pole, which at the top branched out into, it definitely looks like an elk with these large horns on either side. So it's a very impressive elkin staff. Apparently he said it's to celebrate your new position.
I see. Yeah. I take it from him. Thank you for delivering it to me.
All right. Well, you know the way.
I guess I do. I make my way through.
All right, you step through the tree gate and off you go. Back to the four of you. You're in the map room.
Yes.
So what was that all about, Saket?
Well, what was that all about?
Yeah, what was that? Please tell us what's going on.
Yeah, like,
Are you leaving this
hello?
empty?
We've just gone and picked up bloody supplies, and now you're telling us we all have to leave the ship. Why are we leaving the ship?
What's
Are we
wrong with
coming
a
back?
dinner in an inn?
Well, I don't mind having dinner in an inn. What I want to know is why are we leaving the freaking ship?
Well, if you would leave the ship with me, I will tell you.
No, because I want to know that we can come back onto the ship before we leave it. Otherwise, there are things that I need to do first.
If we're all leaving the ship, what about the two in the hold?
Yeah. What have you two been up to?
Have you
Yes,
forgotten what we have in the hold?
Yeah, I'm very aware of what you've stuck in the hold.
There's a quiet knocking at the door.
Great.
Wizard!
Squeech!
Mios looks around. I'm sorry to interrupt, captains, but there's a Sagetti outside on the dock. Only I remember that you told us that we should look out for the Sagetti. Anyway, he's standing on the dock. He's demanding to see the captains.
Yeah, let's go talk to him.
Wait, yes. But
Yes.
first, this.
Yeah.
You go to the inn and you have fun.
Yes.
And no drinking.
Well, that's kind of doesn't really go hand in hand there, does it?
No, sir.
He is 14.
What do I?
Well, yeah, well, that's different.
What should I say to the Sagetti? sir?
We'll be coming.
Give us a couple
He is
of
an
minutes.
elf. He has time.
Yes, look, but what about the other person in the hold?
Yes, thank you.
He closes the door and you hear scampering.
Look, we can't talk about this here, all right?
All right.
Can you just accept that and we leave?
All right.
Thank you.
I'd just like to take my new gnome lizard friend for dinner. Is that so wrong? I'd really like to talk to him more.
Don't eat him. Let's go now.
I'm not going to eat him. I just want to have further conversations with my new friend.
And Blackston, are we coming back on to the ship?
If everything goes well, of course.
Right.
Can we go now?
I think I decided we really should just pack up our favorite books just in case and take them with us. Don't you feel? And possibly my favorite clothes and some other things.
I could not choose.
Could
Well,
you
take
stop
all of
it?
your
We should
books.
Can you please just come
Yes.
with us
We
and
just
listen to what we have to say?
I'm gonna go
Yes,
pack
yes.
up,
Crying
and
out
then
loud.
I
Don't,
know.
Saket, for once in your life, don't be Saket. Okay?
That's like impossible.
Yes, I know. Go
Yeah.
now.
Well,
Let's
we're
see
back,
what the
right?
Sidgehead wants from us.
Yes,
Yeah, let's start there.
thank you. And we leave.
All right. Well, you go up onto deck, and the Sagetti is standing there. Looks at.
He's on deck?
No, he's not on deck. He's on the dock.
Oh, God.
That's right.
I was like, yes!
Yeah.
There would be one Sidgehead less standing on the deck in a second then.
Exactly.
Because I'm about done with having my ship boarded.
No, we walked down to the harbor, to the...
Yes.
Opposite
And
bank. Pierre.
he hands you this. He looks at all of you. He sees you, Blackston. Then he's. Are you there, Saket?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm probably packing up my cabin.
All right. So you're rummaging around there. So he sees you.
It won't take too long. It takes like 5 seconds to throw everything into a sack. I'm not a neat.
It's fine. You had your warning. It's fine.
Yes.
If you die, you die. It's fine.
He hands you a sealed envelope. The envelope itself looks to be. It almost looks like the parchment has been infused with gold dust because of the sheen to it. You rip it open, and inside is this very ornate scroll. And all that the scroll reads is, "On behalf of the Secatori, we thank you for your loyal actions to the Sajet Empire. If we can be of any assistance in the future, please ask. Your humble servant, Inquisitor Knaxos.
I fold it together and hand it to Yorick.
Thank you.
Because I'm staying, right?
Well, we still have to talk about that one.
Hang on, wait.
All right.
You'll have to say it.
I wave away the Sajetti. Is Saket coming running?
Yes.
All right. Now that we're not on the ship, here's the thing.
All right. So where are you now?
We're standing on the pier.
Okay. Just make.
Does that help? Is that enough?
I hope so.
What?
You can mind thing. You don't need to speak with us.
You're correct. I can. Fine. I tell everyone what's about to happen.
But it's
That
only
the
one
vampire
way.
needs to stay on the bloody ship. And we cannot be there, and we cannot alert him to this. Also, Blackston, I'm staying.
What?
Are you two
There's
up
no
to?
way you're staying.
Is this some
Can
sort
you
of male
teleport?
bravado thing? A lot of posturing going on? Yes? No?
I can teleport.
I cannot
You can?
teleport, but this is my duty.
Yes.
Look, I could keep him busy until they start with the whatever they're doing, and then leave.
What is
I
this
can
thing
even
that
teleport to where I cannot see. I figured it out. I got wet
That
a
I
couple
can't
times, but I figured it out.
I cannot go. Let you go in there alone. This is my suicide.
Oh, so seriously?
Oh,
you
come
can
on,
go
Whoa,
in
whoa,
there,
whoa,
and
whoa.
you can sacrifice
Whoa,
yourself.
whoa,
but
whoa,
I can't.
Whoa! If they're going to seal him into the ship, maybe he won't be able to leave.
Why would
anyway.
they? We're just waiting for the sunrise. We just have to make sure that he stays there.
Well, if we have to make sure that he stays there, it doesn't make sense that we have to evacuate the ship. Weren't they going to seal him in? Wasn't that what you said?
That's the contingency. In
That's
case
plan
things go
B.
terribly wrong.
Right.
But we cannot unleash this monster on any population.
I agree.
Yeah,
Well,
no one
then
has a
I
problem
think
with
that we should stay, all of us. If any of us stay, we should all stay on the bloody ship to make sure that he does as well. I mean,
Yeah,
I
we
agree
all
with
die
the
together.
crew going
Fantastic.
away.
I just have one question. When they're going to entomb him on the ship, what does that do to the ship?
I have no idea.
Why are you talking about entombing the ship? Forget entombing the ship. We just need him to stay there.
I really think someone should speak to Con about this before we ruin his ship.
Con is currently talking to the Druids about this.
Probably
He
not.
knows.
I spoke with one of the Druids. They came because of Khan spoke with them. I assume he is informed, or at least he's okay with it. He agreed that this beast must perish.
Yeah, no, I'm all for the vampire dying. I have no problem with
The ship
vampire
is a tool. The humans behind our backs is the one we need to protect.
Oh boy.
The thing is,
All
the
right.
vampires already managed to get out of his cell on several occasions. We can't keep him contained. We need the Druids' help. And as long
All
as
right.
there are people on the boat, they're in danger.
All right. Look, if we need to do this without alerting him, I can stay down there all bloody night and talk to the other prisoner and keep an eye on him, make sure that he actually stays in his cell. And if he moves, I mean, that won't be suspicious at least. It's a way to watch him that makes sense.
Okay.
And she can
But you
teleport
cannot go.
herself
But you
out.
cannot go in there alone if anything happens.
No, sure, somebody should be with me.
Take Jorik, who can also teleport.
That's true. We could get out of there in a pinch. I'm sure I could get out through a porthole or something if
You're
necessary.
just going to have to put your whole paladin sensibilities somewhere else for like a couple of hours, apparently. And
We could use you on the deck in that case, in case he does get out. We could use someone who can bring him down, at least
There you
momentarily.
go. And then you can always walk off the gangplank if it's all fine.
All right. So you two head down, but I will stay right out here. If anything happens,
Yes. You
do
don't have
not
to
leave
go
the
get
side
him.
of this ship. And
No.
Yorick, you will keep in constant contact with me.
I will try. Yes, I can do that. There's a porthole in my office.
And one of those speaking tube things, yes?
Okay.
Stick one out of the window. Hello?
What are you doing? Because Blackston is staying on the ship above decks.
Like on the pier. That was
Are you on the
idea.
pier? Yeah, you're on the pier.
I'm on the pier, yeah, with my bag of stuff.
So
Adricide,
when Con comes back, so Janice with the stuff on. Like, and the others, well, that's the story.
Adricide, is there anything you'd like me to... just go and pile your books into a sack, please.
At least the one book, get it, right?
Yeah.
I'll be having that one with me if I'm going to go talk to our little friend down there.
Sure.
Gonna need
Okay, but the rest of... And the scroll that you just bought...
that. Don't worry.
Anything else that you would like taken to the tavern?
Honestly, I couldn't choose. If I wanted to spare it, one thing you'd have to spare all of it. Just
then give
let
me
it be where it is.
You would not be so
That's
pessimistic
not
about this.
Other side by the hand. Let's go.
Okay. I have to swing by the lead storage, and I have to swing by the kitchen.
Sure. Just get on the ship and away from Saket.
Yes. Ah! I'm
And
walking
I
by
like,
myself.
look at the cat and say, like, so I take it you go then to the tavern?
I'll go to the tavern and keep an eye on the crew.
Thank you.
All right. Wish us luck.
Good people. Fine.
God, I wasn't planning on doing this conversation now, but all right.
All right. So you
So we're basically splitting the party? That's so smart of us.
yes, facing
That's so out of character
I
for us.
doing that?
we scattering to the four winds. All right, so right, Jorik, you and Adricide.
Are you okay, guy?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm just going to figure out how to.
I'm so tired.
Actually, before we get on the ship, I put
Good.
my anchor, my teleport anchor on the pier.
right.
Otherwise, I won't be able to get out. I can only teleport to where I see unless I have the anchor.
You can do that while I go make some really nice sandwiches with some hot chocolate.
Oh, it's just a thought, but still, I need to do it. Otherwise, it's like, right, shit.
I should have read the small print.
Fine print.
Fine print, yes.
Okay.
Teleporting to the wall, just smack.
Eventually.
Ow.
And then just like, oh shit.
Oh god. All right. So eventually, after much culinary feats and anchor planting, the two of them head down into the prison, and the lizard gnome is still very much curled up on his pallet, trying to sleep, and the Duke is standing.
Can I say one thing before you go into this?
Yes.
I would actually put on the helmet of Brax.
Aha. Okay.
Tinfoil helmet of Brax.
As to what it does.
Excuse me, this is only a holy relic of my god.
Sticking to the purpose.
And I would basically like pacing up and down, like somebody who's awaiting the results of his most important life exam, and like not knowing if he passed or didn't, just like pacing up and down the pier.
The ship is giving birth on the other side.
Yes, that's a good analogy.
The Duke, as you both arrive down, he's like, "Oh, good, you are here. Although I did not summon you. You know,
But we're not here for you. We're here for this one. Sorry, we're quite busy.
Jorik.
Big for yourself. I can converse with him if he.
You
All
know
right, fine.
what happens when you interrupt a Duke. Do not do that.
Oh, he'll kill you or something.
He'll get over it.
He'll get over it.
No, it's fine. I'm really. Can you do it after we do this? Because this is really important. You can talk. Just keep it down. Because I've been wanting to do this for like a week now.
Go ahead. Meanwhile, I'm trying to have relatively civil conversation with the Duke as much as I can without strangling him.
All right, so that's what the two of you are doing. Con, you are walking down the path.
The thing I'm doing is I'm trying to appeal to his ego so that he keeps talking to me.
You're going to see what's going to come up shortly.
Brat.
Oh god, I don't like this one bit.
Con, you're walking down the pathways, I'm assuming with a certain amount of speed, trying to get back to the Windswift. And you can't help but notice the crew of the Windswift, because they're very loud and very laughy, and all wearing very bright coloured shirts and carrying bags, walking into this rather large establishment that has a rather bad magic sign glowing outside saying the lustrous pearl.
Luminous.
Luminous pearl. Well, there was a spelling mistake.
Lustful.
That's why he's leaving town.
That's a bad sign. I can't quite make out.
Right, yeah, the magic's messed up around the L.
Luminous, lustral. God, they need to fix that.
Yes, but you see the crew of the Windswift all. They literally look like a bunch of corporate execs going on a corporate retreat. It means they're going to get plastered.
I file that under later and continue towards the ship.
All right. It takes you a few minutes, and then you see Blackston pacing frantically up and down. But walking up the hill carrying a rather large sack is Kent.
I should have got a porter. I forgot how much books weigh. Hi.
Just brought some light reading to the hotel.
Hi, Con.
Hi.
Bye, God.
Yeah.
Have you been a good boy?
What's going on?
I'm only really not really sure, but from what I can understand, you already know that they're going to do something to the thing on the boat that I don't think the boat's going to survive. They said entomb it. That just sounds worrying.
No entombing going on.
Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go and keep an eye on the crew. I just packed up my belongings just in case of any mishaps, but Blackston is on the ship, on the deck guarding it, and then Adressai and Jorik are talking to the prisoners. I think we need to distract them.
Right.
I'm really sorry.
Right.
Windswift's fine. The vampire, well, I assume the Druids have a plan. I need to go tell Blackston.
Okay.
Anyone else who's still on the ship, I guess. You've seen the crew off. That's good.
They're all getting drunk in the tavern, except the cabin boy, because I don't think that's legal.
Keep an eye on things, because if it goes south, we'll probably need your help. So don't lose sight of the ship.
I wasn't going to do that. I'm not going to be drinking.
I know.
Now.
Much.
Anymore.
Yeah. But as far as I can, I've had a rather interesting discussion with the highest druid of the land. Anyway.
And you got a new staff. I like the new staff. Where did you get that from?
I'm not sure it's a staff. It's rather short, but yeah, I don't know. The importance of this will make itself apparent, maybe. I don't know. A gift.
Toothpick of destiny.
A gift for a rather strange...
I kind of get the impression that there's been a lot going on that Adressai and I are just not very aware of right now. But yes. Okay.
Needless to say, take-home fact at the moment is keep an eye out. If it looks like it's all going tits up, come running with fireballs, yes?
Oh, I can do that.
Splendid. I can rely on you, Saket. I head off towards the ship.
All right. You see, since I am going out for the first time in public, I need to make sure what I'm wearing is appropriate. I don't want people to see me and think that's a shabby duke. So I want you to go to your quarters and find your best garment. I'm sure that will be suitable, since this is just... he sort of mocks looking out of a portal. I'm assuming a small settlement.
I'm not sure I have anything in your size.
Then find some
You're
who
a pretty
does.
stout fellow.
I do not anticipate going out in public dressed as a prisoner.
Well then, obviously I understand that. I'm just not sure who would
There's
fit
a
you.
city. Go and find something.
Oh, you mean I should buy you something?
That I should feed upon one of your valiant crew. But you seem rather...
Well, the valiant crew are... Well, I guess. The thing is, it's evening. How do you expect me to find anything at this hour?
You have not been in Drakenmoore for so long, you forget. I don't care.
I suppose. But then you could technically just get your own clothes, couldn't you? If you don't care.
He gives you this cold look, and he steps forward. Give me a perception check, please, as he glares at you.
Yeah, that's 17.
He glares at you. Now, normally, you've never been glared at by a vampire before because you're still alive, but generally, vampires have very black eyes, very dark, soulless eyes. But when he glares at you, it almost looks as if his eyes are illuminated by fire. Go and get me something appropriate for my station.
He seems upset.
Why? Oh, why?
I'll see what I can do. It might take a while, but I'll see what I can do.
Connor?
He turns back away from you and sort of does the imperious, I'm looking away from you because I have dismissed you, but I'm in a cell, so there's not much to...
Staring
I
at
cannot
this
just
wall.
dismiss you really or leave the room.
Yes.
As I walk past others, I put my hand on their shoulder and just telepathically, I'll be around. Don't worry. If anything
Bye.
happens, get out, and then I walk.
See you later. Sort of distractedly. Yes, see you later. Yeah, but super busy.
All right. The little lizard creature looks up at you when you sort of approach its space.
I sort of settle down on the floor outside and I sort of hand in the fancy sandwich and the hot chocolate through the bars and go, I need to do a short spell. Just have some nicer food than the usual prison fare.
He, as you say that, there's a sort of a sucking sound from next to you. And when you look up, the counter standing next to you. No magic here, witch.
How about you go back in your cell where you're supposed to be? I'm going to do my magic now.
Oh boy.
What I'm doing is actually really important.
Sure, that's what you're doing. You're not just giving lip to a count at all.
No.
No, none of that.
I have a persona to maintain here.
Sure. What's your... it doesn't matter.
Oh, wow.
Oh, great.
Bye!
The numbers
knowing you.
rolled here, it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. So as you say, go back into your cell with that dismissive tone, all that he does is he literally just knocks you sideways with his hand.
Oh, wow.
And, he hits you really, 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 really hard. You take 13 points of damage.
Ow!
Throws you bodily against the bulkhead and lets you fall to the floor.
Crumpling.
Let that be your last warning. No magic here, witch.
Does Yorick hear the commotion?
You hear a thumping sound.
Oh boy.
I turn around and run down again.
Ow! I think you broke my shoulder, you giant Duke.
You Duke!
Big Duke! Said to rhyme with cockroach.
As you come running down, he completely ignores you. He turns and looks back at you, Jorik. Where is my cloak? I go bored.
Look, we had a deal.
I did not
You behave.
her.
No, you behave. You stay in your cell. We get you to Drakenmoore. All right? That was the deal. Don't change the deal, because then I'll change the deal. And nobody likes that.
Staggering to my feet, sort of.
I'll die here, but whatever.
At least I made a point.
At least I made a point.
I made a point.
Hey, we're trying to make him not suspicious, acting like normal.
Right.
Yeah. Let's call that acting like normal. All right.
Yes.
I mean, it's normal for them.
Yeah, under normal circumstances.
Yeah. All right. Your armor class is not 18, is it?
No, it's 15.
Yeah. So what happens is he was there, and then suddenly he has you by the throat and he's lifted you off your feet, and you take 7 points of damage.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I could use
you don't
defensive
take,
step, but I've already moved, so yeah.
you don't take any damage. Sorry.
No, I don't?
You don't take any damage, but he's just holding you there, and
Right.
You get the impression that you're going to have to struggle free because he's not going to let you go. Do not even attempt to threaten me. There is an entire city out there which I could feast upon for ages. You are merely a faster way of getting home. Nothing more.
Yes. Would you want to come home slower? Look, we are doing the deal. I don't see why you're so upset, but you're not staying to your end of the deal. I'm trying to remain composed here.
He kind of drops you. No spells from that one, he says, pointing at the cat, as he then steps back into his cell and sort of dramatically closes the bars.
Just like sits down, like.
Yes. Exactly right.
Right, can I go get your clothes now?
Is the cat going to cast magic?
No, she's not.
I'm not going to cast magic.
The cat's gonna come with me.
Con, you arrive to see Blackstone pacing up and down on the quayside.
Blackstone?
Con?
How's our guest doing?
I do not know.
How long till sunrise exactly? It's only just set, so...
At least 8 hours.
The Druids are going to do something.
Good.
I'm not completely clear what,
That.
but I do know what their intentions are,
Good.
which is to capture our friend.
Capture. What?
What?
For the furthering of their own purposes.
They.
This is bad.
I
No.
a see you've got the crew of the ship. That's good. I have absolutely no idea what's about
This
to happen. Or when.
Beasts will not be captured.
Well, I know one thing's for certain, Blackston, that there's a level of not much we can do at this point but react to whatever is going to happen next. We can't ourselves do anything to this vampire, right? We can all just troop down into the brig and die one by one in quick succession, or we wait out whatever it is the Druids are going to do. But I believe that some agent from the inner circle has spoken to you already.
Yes, and that is not what she said.
Of course not. But what are they doing?
We were supposed to dispose of it in the morrow.
Well, dispose is a flexible term.
Kill. I was pretty clear. I tried to be civil here, but I guess...
Oh, we've got a lot to talk about. Like, a lot, but now's really not the time. I'm going to go aboard, and I don't know.
I don't think it is wise to let this beast live.
I am a
It was
druid.
a big mistake.
Well,
if there's one thing that is worse than a vampire, it is a druid under a vampire's control.
Well, like I say, this it's been an eventful day. But I am a druid,
And I kind of
and
make a prayer and say, it looks like it will be an eventful evening too.
all I can say is there's a resoundingly startling lack of druidly behavior going on at the moment. What a surprise. I head for the gangplank.
Con, what is your plan?
I don't have a plan. If we survive until morning, well, that will be something.
I will tell you mine. I will go into the brig and kill this vampire once and for all.
Excellent, no.
So they're coming a mile away.
If you don't mind, I'll go in ahead and have a quick chat.
Go. I need to pray.
Good stuff.
Yeah, you fucking do. We're all gonna need to pray.
All right, Adversai, what are you doing? You're lying...
Drinking. Pina coladas.
No, I'd gotten back up to my feet, and then Jurek had dragged me away.
Right.
I go, no, I'm fine. I appreciate it, but I got this. I just need to fetch something from my room, and I'll go back down. I still need someone down there. Look, I still have to finish this. I just need to...
Yes, I just figured you could cast a spell somewhere outside of the
Yes,
room.
that was my plan.
Thank you. This is not going well, by the way. I'm not going to be able to keep him here all night.
No, find something.
As Con comes down the stairs. Right, I found something.
Hi, Con. How are you with broken shoulders?
What happened to you?
Oh, I got casually,
Licked aside.
casually, tenderly touched into a wall, really.
Tenderly touched.
Yeah, just sort
I
of...
didn't do it. It was the vampire.
Oh, it's...
Oh, boy.
No, I'm starting to realize I was a little bit uppity at the time. I've got a better handle on it this time.
Don't feel bad for that. He's an asshole.
No, I've handled worse. Don't worry about it.
It's going to be a long night, I can see.
No, I just need to go to my room and fetch something, and I can go back. That's fine.
Quietly, though, I sort of draw you close together, the two of you, and I'm like, listen, something is going to happen between now and after the sun rises, and I can't tell you precisely what that is.
Well, we're aware of that, yes. That's why we're here. We're trying to keep him here. It's just that we're not going to be able to.
Just don't...
His patience is going to run out. And he's
No, I understand that, but just don't automatically assume the Druids are completely careful of our own safety.
Oh, God.
What are you saying, Con?
Saying that we're still not entirely surrounded by friends.
Well, what's new? I'm gonna head to my room and I'll be back down there in a minute. Don't worry about me. I got it. I got this.
As she
I'll be fine.
go, I reach out and grant some energy flow from my store of natural magics.
The other side turns around to go a loud snap as the shoulders back into place.
So that's 12.
Oh, thank you.
And then I continue on my way down towards the brig.
Oh, it's much better. Thank you. You're really good at this.
Saket, you have caught up with the rest of the crew who are ordering strange drinks contained within pineapples that come with fruit. So one's never sure whether you should just swallow whole or chew, and then when you chew it, you wish you'd swallowed it, and then you don't know if you should swallow it, and well, then you do swallow it, and then suddenly the fruit and the little cocktails and things don't taste so bad. So they're starting.
That's quite good.
That's how it goes.
To go through all of that. When you happen to notice, sitting across one of the tables, the captain of the Sagetti ship, he and his crew seem to be having a last drink, so to speak. And he catches sight of you and he gives you a nod and offers his table.
Oh. I guess I could join you guys for a little bit. I'm not
Little drinky.
just a little one. Screaming too badly.
Oh, I love this game.
I'm very glad that you chose to join me. It's
We know what happened last time Saket sat down at the table.
to have such a beauty sit amongst us.
If I could just get some drinks and some food, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely, of course. And he sort of snaps his fingers and things, and drinks start to get brought around. I don't think you quite understand what you've accomplished today. My men and I are celebrating.
I'm pretty sure I've got that bit at least.
Oh, really?
Well, it means you can go home, right?
Oh, yes, of course, that. Yes, absolutely. It means that we can go home. Yes.
Amongst other things, yes.
Well, except we won't be going home, will we? Not really. He sort of looks at the younger officers who are busy trying to seduce Lieutenant Ty and failing badly.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
You know, they're sort of fawning
You
all
should
over.
start with something easier.
Yes.
Right.
That's going to be greatly amusing to watch. Yes.
Yes. Well, anyway, we do it for the Pharos, don't we?
Yeah, it's all for the Pharos, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy.
What's this on a stick?
Oh, they're rather nice, actually. A bit soft, sort of chewy. Look, he takes one of the sticks and he bites off the front half and he starts chewing. He's like, it's actually very good. You should try some, he says, and he hands you the other half.
You can finish that one. I'll take another.
I dare you.
What, to eat your germs?
Oh, please, it's only half. It's really quite nice, especially once you swallow it. 'Cause
it's not got mushroom in it, has it?
no, it's none of that Drow Republic nonsense.
I'm just not particularly partial to mushroom. Okay.
You take a bite of it. It's remarkably sweet, and and then it becomes remarkably sour as whatever outer part gives way to the sour part to it. And he sort of hands you a half pineapple drink thing. He takes a half pineapple drink thing, and he kind of Father Pharos, right?
Yeah.
He starts drinking that as well. And that's how that evening starts to go
sideways. Deteriorate.
Right. Back downstairs, Con, you arrive in the prison cells to see...
Well, just before I go in there, I mutter a brief, quiet invocation of the goddess of the cycles of life and death and rebirth to watch over me, please. And then I go in.
The Count turns momentarily, looks you up and down and says, I do not need the doctor.
No. I close the door behind me and sort of go over, find a chair and sit down on it. And sort of put my feet up and watch him.
What do you think you are doing?
It's my ship.
I suppose you could call it your ship, sure. And I suppose you could sit there as well. It does not bother me. Do you know where that idiot Jorek is? He is trying to procure for me a very important item. But I
he's quite
waiting.
Time's relative, surely, for someone who's spent so long waiting.
Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, all this sort of low-level impatience seems slightly off-key.
What do you mean, off-key?
Exactly that. I mean, here's this Grand Master Lord of Drakenmoore who has been plotting and scheming for how long now? How long is it? I mean, out of curiosity, I'm less versed with the histories in this one, so I mean, I'm quite curious. It seems like you've had a long time to plot your revenge.
I have had many centuries, it is true.
And yet you are so easily worked up about whatever it is you've sent Yorick off to find you. Just, I don't know.
You are saying I should not care how the cattle perceive me. Perhaps you are right. Vanity is the floor of my people. I agree to that.
So how come you fell out with the other dukes? What happened there? I am a bit of a history buff, and Drakenmoore is distinctly a gap in my history lessons. And since we're stuck in port for a bit on our way there, now seems an ample opportunity to...
So it was
from a primary source. I've taken the liberty as a doctor of this vessel to make inquiries about... You know, we're in a port, quite a large one as it happens. There's no need for someone of your stature to have to go shopping, I guess we could say. We doctors have an unofficial network of understanding, and I think dinner should be fairly easy to arrange.
Give me a deception check. Unless you genuinely are willing to go out, roofie someone and drag their corpse in here too.
I'm kind of implying that I've arranged for someone else to do that.
Right. Yeah, there's still an element of...
we're kicking back. 15.
It's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Given my actual skill.
How well do you know Yorick? Jorik, your captain.
Well as anyone knows someone you've lived in close quarters with for a certain length of time, but he is a new addition to this vessel.
How come you are the only one on this ship who knows how to treat me with the proper respect that I deserve?
I am...
That's just Con. He does that.
a fan of diplomacy.
Diplomacy? You would willingly feed one of your own to me to make my life that much easier. That is not diplomacy. That is true and proper subservience.
You misunderstand. I'm doing it to make everyone's life easier. We need to do things, and we need to do them in as efficient and timely a manner as possible with the least amount of disruption. To that end, I am willing to make certain concessions for the greater good of our shared interests. Diplomacy.
When I have retaken Drakenmoore, you might be invited to come and run the affairs of the cattle. I like the way you think, Doctor. Adressai, what are you doing?
Always good to have options.
I'm as I'm walking to my room and back, I'm going to be casting the comprehend languages
Right.
as a spell, so just take a minute. But in my room, I'm going to grab the sort of deepest, most blood red silk scarf that I own, and I'm going to go back down.
All right. You come back down to hear Con saying, if I can get someone in, you don't have to go out and go shopping, as it were. And the Count offering Con a position within his government.
It's fine.
Getting a lot of high government position offers this
You
week.
are.
You are. It's been a day for that.
And Flaxton's making friends with every empire ever.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what you walk in on. He kind of glares at you as you walk in.
No, I sort of clear my throat, and I sort of readopting the more sort of humbled stance instead of the prouder one that I've gotten used to since my time here. And I sort of walk up and I sort of offer it to him through the bars, and I go, I must ask your apologies, Duke. My time as a captain has gone to my head, I think. I wish to offer this for your new outfit. Everyone needs a cravat.
He looks at it, he looks at you, and then he looks over at Con. I have been told that vanity is a failing that I should not succumb to.
Well, it's not vanity to accept a gift, I hope. Still, blood red might be, useful.
Well, and also, vanity is one thing, style is another.
Butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. All right. He takes the scarf and he kind of ties the scarf. It's a bit of elegance as he starts to look.
If you'd excuse me, Your Grace, I'm going to just go and see how affairs are transpiring.
You'll not need to come back. I have decided that I will stretch my legs. I wish to see what is on offer. Blackston? You need some more mates? Simon, you need some time?
It looks like it.
I'll come back to you.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, give me a moment. I'm just writing it down.
Sure. Saket, how many drinks are you in now?
No, I'm still only half a drink in because that tastes weird. And if it's, then I might start singing again, and that's not good for anyone.
Nobody wants that.
I'm sure you must have the most delightful singing voice. I haven't heard. Do you know, says the captain, who's now had his 4th pineapple. Do you know, what was it? Our mothers used to sing it to us.
Lanji lao ho, lanji lao ho.
That's the one, yes. That's right. And he sort of tries to get his men to sing it. Yes.
Bye.
Yes, that's
Now you got her singing. Congratulations.
Just singing. We're doomed. It's an ill omen.
It's an ill omen, indeed. And he sort of he starts singing it, and the men sing it for a little bit, and then it sort of loses impetus, and he looks quite sad when he's looking at the young bucks. You know, they're not. They've given up on Lieutenant Ty, and they're now trying on some of the locals. But you can't help but laugh when one of the locals turns to the one Sajetti officer, and her whole face elongates into this rather weasel-looking like feature, and then kind of forms back again. And the shock on his face, as he didn't realize that she was a wereweasel, he sort of staggers back. Anyway, the captain looks over at you and he says, I don't think they're going to hear that ever again. So I think that was the last time they're probably going to sing that.
But I thought you were going to go back to this. I mean, the whole point of us getting that lovely man passage on your ship was you were going to suggest. Where are you going?
We'll drop him off at a port somewhere where he can find passage. I'll pay for the gold for him to get there. Don't worry, he'll get to Takatuman. There's no doubt about that. We're not going there. We're going somewhere else. But I can't tell you that, can I? So
Well,
anyway,
I'm Sajetti. You could tell me that. For the Pharos.
For the Pharos, he says, and then everyone, for the Pharos, kind of brings around. Everyone starts again, and he kind of goes quiet and gets quite contemplative of his drink, with a bit of a faraway look in his eyes.
I feel you need to talk. More drinks.
Drinks get brought around.
There you go.
He takes the one and he sort of lifts it and he's about to drink and he pauses and he looks back at you. We probably should call it a night. We've got a long voyage ahead of us tomorrow.
Yes, you said, and you should have one more drink before you go. After all, it could be the last time you have a drink, from the sounds of things.
All right, one more drink, and that's it. First officer, one more round for everyone, and then it's time to call it nice. There's one of the, yes, sir, absolutely, sir. And he starts to down that drink.
Are there any of the younger crew members?
Some of them already snuck off, but yes, there are, absolutely.
Can I saddle up to one in a very flirtatious way and be like, so, where are you going?
He looks at you and he goes, I think we're going home, ma'am. That's what the captain said.
Seems like it's a need-to-know basis then.
Sorry, what did you say?
No, you keep drinking. It looks marvellous. Landy,
He's trying to sort of swing it away. Thankfully, everyone seems to sort of chime in again and join you.
I'll go back to the captain and got them all singing and dancing and so such a lively crew.
You entertain them well.
Yes, I clearly will. Where is your passenger, by the way?
Zivolo, Zimbolo, whatever
Yes,
his
that
name
one. Yes.
is. He arrived this afternoon with just far too much luggage. Anyway, it's all been packed away and stored away. I don't know where he is now. He told him to report tomorrow at 8 o'clock at the dock. Yes.
And you're going to drop him off somewhere on your way to...
Oh, God, yes. We'll probably drop him in the... I suppose Biancu or something. No, that's not the way. It's damned inconvenience. That's what it is. And I shouldn't have ever agreed to it, but I did. So...
But it sounds like you're going somewhere extremely interesting, and you did offer me passage on your ship.
It's the middle of nowhere. You wouldn't want to go there.
You don't want to go there.
No, it's actually a bit of a pickle now that you mention it, because I didn't think, but we're going... If we go that way, he sort of says, plotting out the world in his head, and there isn't anything between us and the Gulf. No, well, that's it. So I'll pay for passage for him to leave from here. We'll put his items on the docks tomorrow. There's be another ship around at any time, I'm sure. There's plenty of trade here in the harbour. Plenty of trade.
He wants to go to the Sagetti Empire to make his fortune.
He'll get there. I swear to you, he says, and he raises his mic. I swear to you, he will get to the Sagetti Empire in one piece, and it might not be on my ship, it might not be with my crew, but he will get there in one piece with all of his fertilizer, and he'll make a happy fortune. And who knows, if everything goes according to plan, he might just have vast new territories to open up with his fertilizer as well. I mean, I who knows? Maybe the Graith farmers need fertilizer. I don't know.
The Graith?
What about the
No! Don't worry about them! That's interesting.
No, we can't possibly worry about them. Well, that's the worry, isn't it? Anyway. All right, back to you, Blackston.
Right. So my prayer. So when Con left to speak to the Duke, I say and pray, go to my knees and pray to Brax and all whom may listen, I guess. Brax, my life is in your hands. A great danger and evil is in the bowels of our vessel. The people we trusted and beseeched for help seem determined to only use us. I believe their cause is flawed and harbors dangers beyond theirs and my imagination. Stand by me and allow me to strike down this evil and rid the world of the dangers once and for all. With that, I would then stand up, go onto the boat, and go below deck.
Oh, God.
All right. You start going below deck. You bump into Jorik.
You're standing there and just going, what the fuck am I gonna do? Though when I see the determination in Blackston's face, I kind of just, Blackston, no, please don't do this. Don't do this, Blackston. No, stop.
Jorik, as you're looking at Blackston, is Blackston stopping? Are you continuing down?
I would just nod at him and move on.
All right. Jorik, I can't believe this. Anyway, you see Blackston, but it looks like, because you're wearing the helmet, right?
Yes, I did so with the prayer as well.
Correct. So, Jorik, you see Blackston in this helmet, and you see his regular kind of armor, which wasn't very pretty or very exciting to begin with. But now it looks as if there is this iridescent blue ghostly armor sitting over it.
Oh my god.
That is this epic, it looks like epically heavy plate mail, but he doesn't seem to even notice that it's there.
Holy crap.
Like, wait.
Okay.
As he walks past,
What?
Okay.
and I follow him down because this is just gonna end badly no matter what. But what the hell, armor? What?
What did you to find?
I follow him down.
All right, you follow him down. Con, what are you doing?
So what the Count is making to leave the ship?
Correct.
So he's proposing.
So, Doctor.
Well, if you, I'm sure you will do as you please.
You are so right.
What would be the last place, just out of curiosity, what would be the last place on Earth, on Braxia, that you would like to find when you open that door? Just curious.
I'm not sure if I take your meaning.
That's a question, really. Least favorite place on
Let's
Braxia.
play a game.
The least
Other
favorite
than Knaxa
place-
Prison.
Knaxa Prison was a pleasure.
I'm sure it hasn't escaped your notice that I am a druid.
What?
Tell me when I can kick the door in.
Yes, absolutely. He looks at the doorway. He looks at the imaginary portal. He looks back at you. You mean to tell me you have brought me to sanctuary?
By all means, go for a walk. I think my solution to your dinner plans is far more beneficial for all involved, though.
He bursts into flame, and his hand reaches back as Blackston's foot bursts through the door, and Blackston charges in. Initiative from everybody.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Still +2 for everyone who's there.
I need initiative from you as well, Saket, because something else is going to be happening.
Okay.
Well,
23.
you can't say it and give you the opportunity to sit there and wait for your dinner.
We tried.
13.
Boy.
11.
to die.
It's fine.
Dear.
I can tell you something, Tobias. I'm not holding back here.
No.
No. Saket, what was your total?
13.
13. Jorik?
23.
Blackston?
19. With a
Con?
+2, right?
Yeah, it was the +2, yes.
Yeah,
12.
Adressai?
11.
And me, I got...
100.
All of you just
Eight.
move in slow motion compared to me.
I am Neil.
I piss on you all.
In quick as the night.
All right, so he's going on a not natural 20. Okay.
All right, before we start this battle, I have a few questions because I don't want to metagame this too much.
Sure.
First question. Would I know about the weaknesses of vampires being a holy kind of generally person?
Yes, absolutely. Not a problem with
Next question. With him being a vampire,
Yes.
they are fairly susceptible to moving water. We are on the ocean.
that. Yes.
Is the ocean moving water?
So the ship itself is not moving water. So provided...
No, I'm talking about the ocean as in the salt water.
Yes, if you were to throw him into the salt water, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
That would cause a certain amount of damage. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
And I have like a plan when it comes to my round. And
Okay.
a few more questions.
All right. Okay, so just to be clear, we've got Con standing directly in front of the vampire himself.
Burning vampire.
The burning vampire, to be precise. Adrasai is standing next to a giant burning vampire. Blackston has just charged into the cell, which has a giant burning vampire in it. And Jorik is directly behind Blackston, which has a room in front of him, which has a giant burning vampire in it as well. And Saket, you reckon if you need to get more information out of this person, you're going to have to drink. It's getting to the point of the night where people are starting to order single shots of silly things that they line up in a line.
Oh, no. Fuck. Okay.
Well, that's another alternative you can do. Right.
That's going to take at least several rounds.
Yeah, I'll take a way more drink. So she's just like,
actually, Saket is ridiculous. Charisma. It might be really quick.
It's been lovely seeing you. I must go to the privy quickly, and yeah, gotta go. Full bladder, all of that.
Bye.
Alcohol comes straight down through me. Women.
Right. So, sure, that's not a problem.
I start sprinting down to the dock, like, guys.
Okay. Well, we'll take that on your turn as you doing that. Stop for the turn is Jorik. What are you doing?
Oh, what does he do?
Kill it with, well, fire doesn't work. Kill it with ice.
Kill it with things.
Fire.
Kill it with whatever you have, really.
Just kill it.
Well, since Blackston is in my freaking way.
Well, depending on how I moved after going through the door.
Yeah, that's
We are on the drop deck,
not a large space on the ship. It's really not the largest space on the ship.
No, because if I can't walk past him, I'll simply teleport past him because I can do that. But can I walk past him?
Isn't he still in the cell?
I'm moving in, so I don't know how whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Is he in Brig 1 or Brig 2?
He's in Brig 2, the one closest to the back of the ship.
At the back of the ship. Yeah, look, I mean, it's a 10-foot by 15-foot square space. So yeah, you can get next to each other. I don't have a problem with that.
All right. Then I walk in and I guess, well, offer a very short mental prayer to Nim and realize that I'm going to die today as I fire a psionic arrow at the bastard.
Pew pew laser guns.
Yes.
Oh, he's
I'm not.
You make your attack.
I'm not holding back.
We're all going to die.
Yep.
It's been really fun.
I might as well go out, with
I'm not dying.
Let's go.
Sorry.
that's 18 to hit.
It's going to be the adventures of Saket
And
the
somebody.
Jetty intelligence guys. Maybe.
Arrow sails towards him, but as it gets close enough, as it's sailing towards him, his eyes catch it, and it stops dead and drops to the floor.
Oh,
Right.
Miss.
great! Just what I wanted to
He's next.
do.
Oh, who has betrayed him the most here? Who has
I
betrayed
apologized.
Who apologized? He doesn't even know
Cast-
you exist. He doesn't even know that you exist.
No.
As far as he's concerned, the doctor has been bloody well just sort of yakking away. The doctor's delaying something, but it's Jorik who's the problem. But there is a giant blue shining problem that bigger. So he's
There's a
going
divine armor between him and Jorik.
That's going to
Good
be
move, not teleporting in. You're a good move.
That's going to be a new nickname. Giant blue shiny.
Just flat.
Whoops.
Bad plan.
all right. So
I'm not going to get to Drakenmoore any quicker this way, you know.
right. Well,
Oh, really?
Diplomacy, guys, diplomacy.
all right. So he makes his attacks. His first claw attack is a 19. That's a hit.
No, it's a miss.
Well, no, 19 is the roll plus then his values.
Yes.
Actually, hang on.
26.
That's 26. So yes, that does currently hit you.
So he's going for me, or he's going for your
He's going for Blackston.
Okay.
Oh,
Blackston, yeah. Blackston's glowing blue with this divine armor.
I was totally expecting to be paced by now, but okay.
Not yet. So that's one hit, and that is only 16, so that doesn't do anything. And, wow, okay, 16, 14, getting worse and worse and worse. So he sort of slashes at you, Blackston. But who's next? You are next, Blackston. Now, what you are seeing is as he's swiping at you with his hands, the form in front of you is definitely this vampire.
Right.
But standing, it looks like standing around him, or more like he's standing inside of, is this large, ethereal, burning, demonic form where you can see these long black claws stretching out from where his hands are.
Mm-hmm.
And these two black...
So like an exoskeleton, almost?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you're...
Great! He's a demon!
The others in the room, you are not seeing that. You're just seeing him with these red flames sort of burning off of his shoulders and the tips of his ears in a sort of a dramatic way.
Can I leave now?
So
I don't think he'll let you.
I don't think he's...
So I was hit though once, so can you give me the damage?
Exactly. Sorry, where is it?
What have we done?
Okay, 15 damage.
15 points?
Yeah.
All right. I'll make my constitution save. I do pass. So that's good. 15 points?
Yep.
Ow.
It's fine.
Right, you're up, Blackston.
All right. So he is not in behind bars anymore, but he is actually standing right in front of me, right?
He stepped through. He doesn't care.
Okay. So I don't have the map in front of me.
Yeah.
So my question to you would be what the surrounding is. So he is standing basically in the guard part.
Yes.
Of
So
the bridge.
imagine a room that's 10 foot wide, so it's not very wide, and 15 foot in length. And the cells run along that length. So he stepped out of that. So you're.
So my question being is a few things. First of all, what is the side of the hull of the boat compared to where we are?
That you would need to get him back into his cell, which is it's a 5 foot movement. His cell is not very big, and then
we have two cells, right? Is the other cell open with the goblin?
No, it's
sorry,
closed.
With the no?
That's up in the corner towards the front of the ship.
Okay. So it's completely separated.
Yes.
I see. And obviously the cell is closed, like the door is shut.
Not the one he stepped out of. So you could, if you can move him backwards, you could get him up against the wall of the ship.
All right. So what I do is I throw my halberd against the back of the jail cell, and I will enchant it with a divine smite to break the side of the boat open.
That's
my plan. If it works or not is up to you, but that's my plan. Because I want to get him into water.
Give me a strength check to throw that halberd into the...
Sure. I don't know if there's any bonus or whatnot.
You can add
because
your
of
proficiency because you've used it.
Okay. Okay. Then that's 27.
Okay, good.
Oh,
nice. All right.
Blackstone
Is the
strongest of them all. I mean, I rolled a 19, so
yeah, that's perfect. Do your damage, please.
So I will do this with the smite, as I said. Do you also want me to roll the halberd damage, or is that just like natural?
No, you can do as well. I've got the resilience here of a hard.
I almost think I need to. Honestly, I will do this. I will screen share this. This is ridiculous. I crit.
Nice.
Of course you do.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's only a showpiece.
Well, if the ship wasn't sinking before,
Gotta think now.
I mean, good thing that it takes
This
someone.
takes a bit. So I'll roll the next d20. I will give you the picture later. This will take too long right now.
Right.
So the confirmation is a 17. So I don't know. Is it 4 times?
4 times the damage.
Oh my god.
So with a maximum smite on top of it, which is also then 4 times.
Blackston, you absolute munchkin. You are
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. So the wall is not undead. So
I think the wall is not undead. No.
well, it will be afterwards, right? All right. So let me do some math here real quick.
All right, so you're doing...
Question, do we also see the weird glowing
With my
armor?
second attack, I will try to grapple him, and I see him, and with it, I would say then, I see you, you wretched, foul beast, and I grab him and try to grab him, and then I will try to move him. So I will also make the athletics attack against him.
Lovely.
That is 16 against his athletics or acrobatics.
As you, well, let's see. As you grab him to push him back, you realize that he stands firm, but the creature around him grabs you back and stands absolutely rigid. So unfortunately, your grapple fails.
All right, that's fine.
What is your damage though to that?
I'll
You're
use
busy
the
calculating.
Working on it. So do we also see the weird glow around Blackston?
You do see the strange glow around Blackston. That's sort of a
So that's 59 points of radiant damage, and now I'm adding up the...
Okay.
I didn't know he could do that.
All right. So that's what's happening. That will result in something, but it won't stop the initiative from continuing. So
No. That's good.
All right. So Saket, you are extricating yourself from that pub. Is that correct?
Yes, and trying to run
All right.
discreetly down to the boat.
Before
Guys.
you leave, though, you need to give me a diplomacy check.
And another 38 points of slashing.
Oh my god. So 97 points of damage.
Sure.
Diplomacy, what's that going to come under?
Sorry, diplomacy is under persuasion.
Persuasion.
Hey, you're the charisma person. You can do
Am
it.
I?
Oddly enough. He's a bartering person. We're not sure that adds up to charisma.
Okay, all right. Hang on.
Here's a question now. He's grabbing me and I'm grabbing him, or did he just like swat me away?
Basically, he didn't grab you back. He just sort of held firm.
All right, but I have him grappled?
No, you don't have him.
No, okay, so he just swatted my hand away, basically.
Correct.
Right.
Let's hope they're really, really drunk, because I got 10.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Where are you going, darling? We can't have you leaving so early.
I told I really need a wee. I'm flattered the size of...
And then one of the, So for this round, you're stuck trying to extricate yourself from the bunch who say, "Oh, we'll all go. We can go."
To the loo? No, really, I need to know that's not right. The privy is a single-sex thing.
Well, that's why it's called privy, because it's private. Oh, says a whole bunch of them as they start following you out. Is this way? I saw it the other day.
I really emphasize with the final boss of this whole game being extracting yourself from social situations.
Right.
Not good at that.
Con, you're up.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, because it happened, the side of the ship has basically blown out of the entire. Well, the whole back wall has blown out,
And
and
the shipwright's going to think that's
water
awful.
is starting to pour in.
Let me do this for you, Con. Stop blowing holes in my ship!
I don't know if Con cares anymore. Well, who knows?
There might be bigger issues.
In this crowded space, I've basically got Jorik and Blackston in front of me.
And Adressai next to you, yeah.
So here's the roll, by the way. And there's the other +4 because of the...
Wow.
Holy crap. Scary.
So,
What do you
yeah.
think, Con?
have no goddamn idea. No, I am going to try and angle myself around to get a spell off for what good it might do.
Sure.
Which is to dispel magic on the vampire himself.
You holding that staff with the elk head, aren't you?
Yeah.
What weapon, if you had a weapon in your hand right now, what weapon would you be holding?
My staff.
All right. Your elk staff is now your regular staff.
Huh.
That was a lot shorter a moment ago.
Was indeed, yes.
That's what she said.
So you're holding Dispel Magic ready?
Yeah.
Okie dokes. That's what you're doing. Adressai. What are they up to?
Oh god. The door out to the rest of the ship, is that open or closed? Because we've been running in and out of it.
Yeah.
First thing I want to use my movement to run over and close it to sort of try to minimize the amount of water that's going to come and rush into the rest of the ship and everybody's going to sink and die.
Right.
So sort of back up and just close that with my back.
Yes.
And then I don't know. I'm not good at this. This is not my thing.
I'm come.
I mean, I can try Disgusting Ray of Frost to see what happens. Pew, pew.
You'll tickle him if nothing else.
Make your attack.
Go for the eyes.
19.
19. It sails just clear of his head. He sort of tweaks his head aside, and it smashes against the side of one of the wooden beams and freezes it solid. No. Back to Jorik.
Well, realizing that this guy's got the moves, I shoot him again.
Leg.
He's got the moves, so I'm going to do exactly what I did last time.
Same thing. I got something up my sleeve,
Can help me.
which I'm probably going to need because that was 20.
Right.
That's
Oh,
probably
nice.
not going to hit anyway.
Wait. Oh, so not roll 20. That's,
No, natural 20. Just 20 as a result.
Uh-huh.
Non-natural
To
20.
hit.
To hit.
All right. That does hit.
Oh, it does. Okay, then I don't do anything else.
Pull your juice into it.
Yes, I do. You motherfucker, you're gonna bleed now.
Choose him. Choose him.
It's 10, 16, 22, 26 damage.
And it's psychic.
Do you need the split between physical and psi?
Yes, please.
2 physical rests psi. The bow did not hit well.
Set me up for that one, didn't you? All right. What was your total with the psi damage?
26 or 24 of psi, 2 physical. Look, I have a normal bow. It doesn't hurt much. Most of it is just psi juice.
The first damage. The first damage against
First blood. Wah!
count.
We're winning. We're winning.
There's that optimism I like.
Yes.
The Count is up next. He looks at you, Blackston, and he mutters, and you understand it. Does anyone else speak demonic?
You.
No, of course I
But hang on,
demonic.
Andrew
Abyssal.
cast comprehend languages.
Yes,
so
I
that
did
was
actually.
did.
start
Yeah.
metagaming there.
No, that's
perfectly fine.
it was that character information.
Correct. You do understand it.
That stuff is perfect. Like, it's not metagaming at all. It's just reminding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's good.
You do understand Abyssal. Adressai.
No, I have comprehend languages going.
Oh, you do. That's
you
right.
Because I
Casted it
cast it
before,
when
just
I went
walked
to
in.
catch the.
So, Blackston, as he reaches back with his hand to attack you again, he says in Abyssal,
I have waited too long to be stopped now by you.
and then he attacks.
Uh-oh.
The first, what is your armor class normally?
Right now, it's 22.
22. Okay, the first attack.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
How did you? What happened
Paladin,
to
full
you?
armor. What do you expect?
Next
How?
attack is natural 20. I'd point my camera at it, but you're just going to have to believe me.
It's fine.
It's we're operating in a trust-based system on this show.
Yeah, I just showed it because it's so ridiculous that it happens. Yes. Like the crit happened just right there.
Chased up with a 2, so it's normal damage. Aren't you lucky?
That's good.
Yeah, that is good. It's only going to be like
normal damage.
Yeah, normal damage.
It is not a normal situation.
Okay.
You realize what we're doing, right? We're fighting an ancient vampire lord who's possessed by a demon.
Oh yes, we're gonna die.
Okay. We don't need. Well,
all right. 13 damage.
I mean, if the druids were watching, I think the massive sort of holy light bursting out from the side of the ship.
They're gonna
That's a nice signal.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
So how much is it?
All right.
There's the beacon of light.
13 damage. 13 damage.
13. I take it. It's fine.
All right. All right. Then that brings us to your turn, Blackston.
First, I make my constitution. I make my constitution.
Cost.
But I again make it. But yeah.
Water gushes out and burns against his legs. You can see smoke rising up off of it, but he doesn't seem to even notice.
It's fine.
As this water is pouring in. Con, Adrasine, Jorik, from your perspective, the hole in the side of the ship, you don't understand. The Windswift, she has taken significant damage. That's probably a hole about 5 foot across in all different directions. So that's this is a sinkable offense. I'm just saying that's what.
Would you say Fangwir would say this is captain mistake?
Yeah, absolutely. This.
All right, it's my turn.
Yes. Yes,
it should be.
It is? All right, I'll try to grapple him again.
Okie dokie.
I say, it is not me who stands against you. 24.
Well, you start pushing him back. Well, you've got him grappled.
So I have him grappled?
Yeah.
Then I'll start to move him into the water deeper and deeper.
Okie dokes. You start moving him deeper.
And with the second attack, I am gonna unsheath my sword and stab him in the belly. That's an 18 to hit.
18 to hit. The speed is 0.
I can move him with half my speed, so 15 feet.
Yeah. I'm just reading if he loses any of his dexterity because of being grappled. It doesn't say so.
No, it doesn't. The only thing that I'm worried about if he is a vampire, he has regeneration, so I want to get him into water.
Yes, absolutely.
And he takes damage. That's kind of my metagaming, kind of my reason.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Your 18 doesn't hit. Okay. You haven't grappled, but he's fighting you. He's twisting. He's pushing you back. You're pushing him. Water is now gushing down around his ankles. So it's at that level there. Okay, that's what you're doing for that round. Chasing up Blackston is Saket. Are you peed yet? You had to, unfortunately, duck into the actual privy to get away from these people.
Is there like a window in the privy?
At the back.
Okay.
And they are just drunk enough that they're all in front waiting, and one of them is trying to sing a song because it's impolite to listen to a lady tinkle.
I could be some time. I don't just need to. Yes, one needs to do a little bit more.
Clamber up carefully. We understand. All right, we've got to sing louder.
In the distance, there's just a beacon of light.
I need to climb out the window, and then I need to go and find the shopkeeper. I need to find.
He's got healing grenades.
Yes, exactly.
Really useful.
He does. Where are your grenades?
Not exactly, but I have a brain somewhere.
Great. Give me
an time.
It comes. So, Silvio, I need to go find him.
Sylvia? Who's Sylvia? You mean?
No, is that not it? The guy that we went.
Savillo.
Yes.
Zavillo.
Savillo. That's what I tried to write.
Silvio.
Savillo.
Okay.
Silvio.
Give me
My
an
love.
check. Give me an athletics check. If you're watching the show, we're going to overrun by a few minutes, so I don't like stopping combat.
Few minutes.
I'm evil, but I'm not that evil.
Sorry, what was it? What am I giving you here?
Acrobatics check, please.
Acrobatics. Oh, I got 16.
16. You shimmy out that window as if you've done this many, many times before.
I probably have.
And you make light of your escape. Where are you heading to find this mysterious?
I'm guessing he's going to be in his shop. I mean, that's pretty much the only residence he has.
Didn't they say he was in the Sagetti ship?
No, they said he was to come back at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to head straight for that shop.
Straight up there. As you do so, you see you just happen to glance over at the Windswift, and you can see that standing on the ridge that looks out over the bay is this collection. There's 3 people that look a little bit like Con. They're kind of dressed in very kind of close. And one of them has their hand extended out in front of them.
Okay, no, that's definitely not a good... Okay, go for the Sagetti ship. The things are already on the Sagetti ship. Let's just go steal them.
And as their hand is extended, you can see this green energy that looks like autumn leaves being blown in the wind. But it slowly reaches out to the water's edge where the leaves settle on the water. And as they settle, they sort of bloom out into these orange and green and blue circles, which extend and get larger and larger. And as that happens, the water starts to, it looks like it's starting to curve like a wave.
Okay, as pretty as that is, I need to
Out
speed
of
up.
the water, yeah.
I go straight for the Sagetti ship and I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of guard on board.
Well, we'll get there because the suggested ship is quite far away. Yes, the
Guy is drunk on power. Someone stop him.
the Sagetti ship is quite significantly distant.
Did you drink some of that apple juice?
I need some of that apple juice. My
Some of the
cocoa.
pineapples. Drink a pineapple.
All right, so that's a cat. Con. What are you doing? Nothing to dispel here.
Intrigued by the novel transformation of the bit of wood, I have a thought and do my usual infusing it with magic as it bursts. But I mean, there's no way for me to come around and try and prod over people's shoulders with it.
I mean, a quarterstaff is quite long, right? So
Yeah. So all of a sudden, this glowing green ram's head and horns comes over your shoulder and smacks as a smack at the vampire.
Make your attack with your
That
infused.
satisfying tonk sound of a wooden staff.
and one of the antlers breaks off. No.
My new staff.
Typical. 26.
Wow.
That's definitely a hit. Do your damage.
You guys are so much better than I am.
I didn't miss him last turn too, so
9.
9 points of damage.
I
How much
actually
of
did
that-
no damage against him.
Is that
yet.
all just magical damage?
Yeah.
9. Okay.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
Yeah.
9.
What is going on? Adversai.
Right. I'm going to assume that this place is going to be filling up with water, rather a lot of it very quickly.
It is.
Right. I'm not sure how this is laid out. Considering that this is prison, I'm going to guess that they don't keep the keys to these cells anywhere nearby. Like they would be somewhere else.
They're in Jorik's office.
Yes.
Would they
which
be?
is,
I mean, she spoke with
Which
the
is there.
yeah, it's just like across.
Yeah.
Oh god. No, I think I'm just gonna I'm going to cast knock on the other cell door and get that poor bastard out of there, because otherwise he's going to drown in his fucking cell.
You cast knock, the cell door sort of swings open. Note that's a security breach. We'll have to correct that.
Whatever. And then I sort of use my movement to sort of usher this poor man towards the door, and maybe I can sort of open it up and get him outside.
Nobody fighting him.
He leaps onto...
Yeah, well, I'm useless at fighting.
The lizard leaps onto you, Adressai, with it's making a sort of a hissing sound, a very nervous sort of as it's sort of holding on to you. It looks quite terrified of the water.
I'm gonna move towards the door and try to get out of there. Maybe I can do some kind of help from outside rather than down here in this chaotic water-filling place.
Okay, back to you, Jorik.
I keep shooting this guy. I don't know what to do.
Shoot him.
You have
Shoot him. That's an natural one.
Shoot her!
No, wait. Does that count? I rolled a natural one, but I can re-roll one attack or do another attack.
Yeah.
So yeah, this does count.
It
Natural
does count.
one.
Roll it again.
Don't throw your bow away, please.
I will try not to. That's a 20.
What?
It's a
Okay.
20.
Roll it again.
Okay. 4.
All right. To whom, and this is either yourself or to one of your companions in this room, are you doing maximum damage?
How about the vampire?
It can't be the
So
vampire. It has to be one of his companions.
Oh.
It was a
One of
catastrophe.
How about the kobold?
Kill the kobold! No!
With this arrow penetrates through it and Andrew's side.
No!
Me.
You take the damage. Maximum damage.
Ow. Okay.
I'm kind of glad I'm not there now. At least one of us is going to live.
Oh god.
Adventures of Skeleton and whoever else.
So, Adresside, I would, keep moving.
You still have your second attack.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, do that again.
Yes. Actually, I am.
Good.
Yes.
Always good to still be alive.
Yes.
Killed
Alright.
yourself. It's like, how does this look? Like, and then you can put the heads beeping.
Just lights up his
No,
head.
What the
it's
fuck?
a case of. It's a case. It's very simple. It's a case of he fired and he missed last round, so he loaded an arrow into the bow and then he just checked to make sure that it's straight.
This one's a 19 plus, what is it? 6? Yeah, it's plus 6.
25.
25 to hit.
That's a hit.
All right. And that's decent damage, actually. 10, 19, 23, 31 damage.
All right.
Do your splits. What's psionic? What's
No, wait. There's a plus on the bow too. There's plus 4. So maths.
What is it? 33? Did you say?
33. Yeah, so 37 then. 12 from the physical. Rest is psychic.
So 25 and 12.
Thank
yeah,
you.
I forgot to count that last time too. So the 2 on the bow should have been 6, but big deal.
Whatever.
Okay.
If it kills me by 2 hit points, I'm gonna come back and haunt you.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to heal myself.
Sure.
There, I can do that when I've spent psi points. I'm gonna heal myself for 3 points because ow!
Knock yourself out.
My foot.
my foot. Why? All right, so this vampire is now smoking severely in this watery torrent, which is stock standard damage, which I find rather dull. He's going to fight against you, Blackston, to try and break
Sure.
and it's another natural. Yeah, it's another natural.
I also rolled a natural 20. No joke. 27.
Well, your 20 plus my 20. My 20 is 27.
Yeah, so it's he's not free then.
Okay, interesting. He can't move. He's going
Battle
to
of the Titans right now.
He's gonna be real angry.
So pissed.
I rolled a 20, like a 20, and on the advantage on the second die, I rolled an 8. So
Nice. He just tries to rip your face off with his mouth.
yeah, that might be a little bit more. Actually, Wow.
With a helmet on.
I think it's like, let me double check, but I think it's an action that he needs to take to get free. So he would not be able to attack me technically.
Is it an action to try and break free of a grapple?
I'll make doubly sure, but just roll your stuff, and if I take the damage, I take the damage, and if I don't, I don't. But let me make doubly sure.
How deep is the water getting around us?
Yes, it's now at 2 feet deep.
A grappled creature can use its action to escape. So yes, it's an action.
It is its action. Okie dokes. Well,
That's one of the reasons why grappling is nice. Because you either stay or you don't attack.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Well, it learnt its lesson. The GM learnt his lesson too.
No, it's fine. I like if you still want to make him so powerful that he can attack, it's fine. But I'm just saying.
No. It's me learning the rules. It's good. So yes, he's expended on that, which then takes us to Blackson. Yeah.
Trying to so I cannot move him into the water directly because that's in the cell and the cell door is still closed. Or did the cell door that opened was the
the room now is 2 foot deep in water.
Right.
Yeah.
But I want to get him into the ocean.
Okay.
So my question is, the hole in the hull, is it big enough?
Diameter, so you're going to have to.
So is it big enough? I mean, 5 foot diameter is enough, right?
Yep.
So the question is, can I get? There are 2 cells. One of the cell doors is open, one is closed. Is the cell door is open? Is there a way I could move him through, or is that the other cell?
No, absolutely. The cell.
Right now, both of them are open.
They're both open because she
both open.
Yeah,
but he slashed the open.
Okay. That was my question. So then I will continue to move him towards the ocean.
Yes. Okay.
And step.
This is going to be an opposed strength check because it is a ledge that he could potentially resist.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it doesn't matter.
14 this time.
All right. He did not get 14. He got less than that because the dice have decided.
I roll bad, but just enough.
Yeah, 3 doesn't help. It doesn't really matter what your plus is when you roll a 3, right? So you push him into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now this is interesting.
So I don't know if I get, because I have half movement, right? This is not 30 feet movement. I can move him this is just half speed.
The ship's not big. So here's a question. Con, did you dock the ship to starboard or to port?
Always port, right? That's why it's port and starboard.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
That's what the rule is. But did Con do that?
Yeah. I mean,
all right.
It's weird. I'm not trying to be convenient about it, but when you picture doing something, it generally tends to be on that side.
Right.
I mean, that's the reason why they are named this way. I mean,
no, absolutely. But
so the question.
It depends if you're coming, because it would be port out, starboard home.
Right. Anyway,
Sorry.
So, either way, it doesn't matter. You push him out into the ocean. Are you?
I go with him. Go with him. Yes, I go with him.
That's interesting. Okay.
I have a heavy armor. I'm an anchor. Well, I have Starry, but now I'm an anchor.
Vampires can't drown, right?
Right. Okay. So you're going with him.
You can hold him down there till he burns.
Absolutely. And he is burning. He is burning, without a doubt. Con, you're up next. Blackson has just gone out that hole with the demon into the water.
And I will try to use technically, obviously, this is mechanically and what I want to do. I want really to weigh him down and restrict him and constrict him as much as I can, right? I want to bring him down.
Yes. So there is a problem. Well, there's not a problem at the moment, but Con, when you're looking out of that hole, you've just seen Blackson and the vampire disappear into the water beyond. But the water... It should have been rising a lot faster than it was, and you realize the water is now starting to seep out of the ship. And Blackson and the demon fell into water, which isn't right because the ship should have been at the same level as the water. They should, so that's a bit of a problem. And then there's a wall of water on the opposite side of the hole.
Can I still attack him?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
I will do that. Stab in the belly. So that's a 17, which is a miss. The second attack is a 22, however.
22 is a hit.
All right. He'll take 9 slashing plus... He is undead, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he takes the extra. Plus an additional 8 plus 15 is 23 points of radiant. That's my turn. Sorry, but I wanted to get it in while I can.
I need Michael here to write me a program to keep track of maths. Okay, so yes, that's what you do. Con, you seeing this wall of water on the other side of the hole.
And those two went through it.
So it looks like you've got the Windswift. They went through the hole into the. Hang on, let's do this so that you can see it on the camera. So here's the Windswift. You're inside the Windswift. There's a hole. They dove through the hole and disappeared down into the water below. But it looks like there's a wall of water here.
So I go forward to the hole itself. Can I see Blackston and...
Yes, so you see him and the demon busy twisting and turning in the water below the ship. But you realize that the ship is being encompassed by this sphere of water, which is sucking all of the water out and building it up into this sphere of water, if you like. That's how they're going to entomb the vampire, you realize.
But the vampire that's already fallen through the sphere of water into...
No, we're still inside the sphere, but outside of the boat.
Correct.
Inside this, and the sphere is now separate from the rest of the harbour water.
It seems to be doing that, yes. It seems to be using the water that was inside the sphere to build its own walls up. So it's sort of, that's why the water is now being sucked out of the Windswift. It's because the water is literally now pouring out as the sphere creates itself.
Where's Aang when you need him? Oh, wait, sorry, wrong franchise.
And they're stuck inside the wall of the sphere?
No, they're inside the sphere, but imagine that there's a sphere around the ship.
Yes.
And the ship was floating
water out.
And that water is still inside the sphere, but it's slowly being reduced to complete the sphere. So it's sucking all the water out of the interior to make...
So at some point, the bottom of the ship's going to thonk onto the bottom of the sphere and then we'll fall over.
Yeah. Right. Well, yes, that's a problem. Yes. Correct.
Problem for later, I'd say.
It doesn't matter if we lose against him, so...
I jump down after them.
All right. You land with
Turn into a fish.
Turn into a shark.
Just turn into a whale and just...
Was
Hello, ground.
You said
hello.
Right.
I think I'm going to name you Demon Vampire.
It is not fish. The water is draining out rapidly?
Yeah, it's draining at about 5 foot around.
Well, they have a whole ocean. Hopefully they don't use everything, all the water.
Right. So you land down next to them. Are you going to take an action? Because to move across from where you were is 5 foot, and then to jump down is easy enough. You're sort of paddling in the water.
Paddling? How deep is it still?
It's a bit difficult to tell because you're looking at water through water, so you're not sure where the bottom of the sphere is.
My feet don't touch the bottom of the sphere.
Not at the moment, no.
Good, then
At
I turn
least
into quite
40.
a large shark.
Nice.
Into quite a large shark. That's is that a reaction? Or is
It's
it
a bonus action.
It's a bonus action, right? So you are now a giant shark.
With a coiled...
Sharknado.
When I've learned weather magic, we're making one. I do have the scroll. We can make one right now.
Oh my God, right.
We're not going to make a Sharknado this episode.
But next, maybe.
But next time.
Launch Con inside a tornado and he turns into a shark.
At people.
Right.
Very, very good intimidation.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So that's what you do, Con. Adressai?
I'm seeing that the water is receding. I'm going to go out the door and try to sort of make the lizard detached from me.
Right.
So it's okay, just stay here. We're going to keep you safe, all right? Stay here.
Well, the moment you put it down, it sees that there's no water and it just scampers off.
I mean, he cannot
Where
leave
to?
you up, right? So.
Like where to?
Oh, just down the corridor, as far away from the water as it possibly can, heading towards the lower hold.
No, that's fine. I'm sure we'll get him at some point.
Not biggest problem right now.
No, and then I'm going to do as much as I can to just go to the nearby stair and start heading upwards.
Sure, not a problem. You start heading upwards, and that takes you 5, 10. All right, so you get up to almost the upper deck in your action.
Next turn.
Siket, I think I skipped you. Sorry. You get to the ship, but now it is impossible to ignore what's happening on the dock next door because there is a giant sphere of water which has now encompassed most of the Windswift. The top of it is it's sort of rippling towards closing over.
I really hope you can get the people out of the sphere that you need to get out of. Oh, fuck.
I don't think they care.
I don't think they care either. My friends are on board that. I need the healing potions really, really bad. Will they bring people back from ground? Let's just find out.
All right. You run onto deck and you hear the quiet snoring of an individual, and you notice some discarded half pineapples lying about on the deck.
Okay, no need for shocking grasp. I can just get on with going down, and I'm guessing I have a fairly good idea of how the Sagetti ships would be laid out.
Yeah, he's probably on the lowest deck because he's not anyone important.
Well, he's not on the ship, is he? He's somewhere else. But
yeah, that's
the
where his
cargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to just run to the lowest deck and then like bat every door open looking
Give me an
for the
investigation
cargo.
check as you rush through this space.
Ooh, that's quite good. Ooh, investigation. An unnatural 20.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you start going through the various doors and things, and then you realize, hang on a moment, he wouldn't be given a private cabin. He would have been probably given a hammock in the main chamber itself, in the main hold itself. So you head straight there, and the first thing that catches your eye is the amount of weaponry that's down here. Lots of ballista bolts for the ship's ballista, then lots of pikes, bows. It looks like there must be 800 arrows at least here, barrels marked flammable. It's probably pitch of some kind. But you find his crates, all rather neatly labeled. Some of them are glowing faintly, which certainly helps identify them as his. Which ones you start opening them at random?
Well, I saw the casket the potions were in before, so I'm looking for that one specifically.
Yes.
And I want to flip it open and just grab all three of them very carefully. And now, as fast as possible, carefully go back up. You know,
all right. Well, we'll leave you.
My chest
just found these potions as we go back to the top of the round. Jorik, you are now the last man standing in this chamber.
You're muted.
I'm going to do the roller coaster thing and dive through the hole and try to shoot him in the air.
Well, you can make your attack.
Don't hit me, please. I kind of need my hit points right now.
Yeah, as you dive through the window, well, the hole.
Yes.
It's a window now.
It's a window now.
Nice sun window. Let's give things
not bad. 22 to hit.
22 to hit. All right.
So much of happiness is positive language.
Yes. Damage.
Do damage.
That is 11 physical. Right, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And 13 psychic.
Plus your 4, or did you add them already?
I added this time. I remembered this time.
Okay.
All right.
Just making sure.
arrows puncture through. The water is now getting to the point that as you splash in, Jorik, you plunge all the way down to the bottom, and your feet sort of touch something quite solid. You reckon there's probably about 10 foot of water left, and it's losing water at about 3 foot around, give or take.
For 3 rounds, roughly, if it continues to that pace.
Correct.
So here's a question. Are we still completely submerged, the vampire and I?
Yes.
Okay, so we have disadvantage on our attacks now, right?
Correct. Correct. Okay, so yes, that was Jorik the vampire. He's not going to try and escape from you this time around. He's just going to try and rip your face off, because that's...
Disadvantage because submerged.
Yes. Let's hope that it counts.
I hope that it helps.
So high. All right, natural 17.
He's still pretty good at hitting things, so...
He is natural 17 and a natural 16. The 16 with his modifiers still gets to armor class of...
I have 22. I don't know if that is like modified by anything.
It is modified, but even 25 is still just a hit.
Okay.
Its bite is only that. Okay, so that's 6 plus...
And now comes the necrotic part.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Why are you rolling so many dice? Why?
Quite a lot. So 15
Never stops.
total.
So 6 plus 15?
Yeah.
Okay. 21. Ow.
I take it.
Okay. And I'm going to go backwards here, so that's confusing. Right, okay, good. Yeah, so he latches on and just starts sucking away as if there was no tomorrow. That's his only action. Blackston?
I cannot really speak right now because blah, 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 blah.
Yes, there is
But
solution.
everybody that sees me right now would see the kind of shining blue light around me, the armor kind of light up as I cast Lay on Hands on myself for maximum amount, and that's my turn.
All right, you lay
Don't want to die!
with your own hands. Con the shark.
I touch myself, so to say.
Con the shark. What are you doing?
I attack.
Make your
Bite
attack.
his head off.
And go into blood frenzy
Oh my god, okay.
as I use my powerful tail to propel me towards the
Like a
target.
torpedo of death.
A torpedo with teeth.
Yeah.
These I gain advantage
Yes.
on my attack.
Bruce, take him!
Sweet. 24.
That's a hit. You slam into him. Blackson, you feel the pressure of this shark colliding with you.
Goddamn. Max
You
damage.
don't know that that's con either. It's just like totally a shark.
Just shy of max damage, a 7 and an 8. So that
Nice.
is
15
plus 4,
19.
19.
Lovely.
Bad.
I'll latch on and start the old shake
Collapsing.
violently from side to
Yeah.
side.
To the barrel
Like an
roll
angry dog.
maneuver.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Time to thrash.
Absolutely. I have forgotten you again, Saket.
That's
So,
probably good.
yeah. You've now got those vials. You're now going to start making your way out of the ship.
Yes,
Okay.
very carefully and gingerly.
Please, would you roll a d20 for me? I'm rolling a d20 as well.
Uh-oh, why am I rolling a d20 here?
It's
Oh,
just
Explosiveness.
Oh no.
oh dear. Hang on, sorry. That was
You're gonna get healed.
Doesn't matter.
It heals real good.
Just comes out with
You
glass
feel
shots in the
amazing.
face.
You've got an 11.
11 after the...
All right. As you were about to come up on deck, you hear voices. And you hear, we are leaving very early tomorrow. Inform the crew that we're departing at half the 8, at ninth bell. We're leaving at ninth bell tomorrow. Inform the crew first officer. What are you doing?
I'm gonna have to get really stealthy with my 11.
Right.
It's a stealthy 11.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I mean,
Clink, 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 clink. Coming through explosives.
Stay away! I know how to use
you
these.
to invite me onto your ship, Captain. It was such a lovely tour, and really enjoyed my time. But I feel like it's time for me to go now. And it's lovely meeting you. And thank you so much again for the tour.
We haven't. What?
Don't you remember the tour? You wanted to show me your ship, and I was like so grateful for that.
Oh.
And it's lovely. But I should let you get off if you've got to get up so early. So I'm just gonna. Bye.
Okay. Give me a performance check, please. Because there's no such thing as bamboozle.
Deception.
Fast.
You have not met
Yeah,
yet.
deception, I suppose, but this feels more like a performance to me.
Yes, but that's okay. I got 14 with
All
my
right.
12.
You actually have advantage on it, so you can roll twice.
Because intoxication.
Yes.
Drunk.
Well, let's just stick with that.
Good enough. I'll take the first one.
It's fine.
Advantage. All right, so you got 14, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad you enjoyed the tour. First officer, escort this fine young lady back to her ship.
Meanwhile, the ship.
Yes, my ship and a giant water bubble. Right, let's go.
All right.
Lovely to meet you all. I hope you have a lovely time in the
Great Empire.
yes. Great Empire. Good luck with that. You'll have to tell me all about it another time. Run gingerly. It's the last thing we
We're not going to it's the Markenham Gulf. We're going to the Markenham Gulf. We're not going
Markenham Gulf,
to the
right.
Empire yet. No, it's the Gulf. We're going to the Gulf. Bye, he says.
Bye. Bye.
The first officer looks over at you.
Not to the
and
Great
says,
Empire yet.
No, Markham Golf is.
I
nothing else
need
fine.
to escort you, madam, to the dockside.
Yes, that's fine. Hold one of these for me very carefully as we do that. That would be really helpful, although you are quite inebriated.
He looks at the potion with enthusiasm.
No, don't drink it.
Right?
And it explodes in the belly like.
that would be bad. Androsai?
Still rushing up on deck.
All right. As you rush up onto deck, you watch as the top of this water sphere, there's an aperture of about 10 foot, but it's about 5 foot above the crow's nest.
And I can't fly it. Sealed in. I said sealed in. I sort of rush to the edge of the ship, sort of look down, trying to find where the fight is happening.
All right. As you look down where you see the fight, there's this shark that's busy blood everywhere. There's bits of blue glow. There's flame glow. Then there's Jorik who's busy sort of thrashing around in the water as well. It looks like pandemonium.
Now, question. Which one of the big guns is better angled to hit the fight? Huge giants.
The aft.
ballistas.
The ballistas, yes. Well, I'm going to rush towards the aft one then.
Yeah, the offer.
Nice. Good idea. I like it.
It's a shame I probably don't have time to get any of the magical explosive bolts, but you could work on that.
Let me introduce you to my crossbow.
Talk about stake through the heart, just like,
Fail ballista. All right, so that's what you're doing. Absolutely. Back to top of the round.
I can't use the bow underwater.
No, it's a bump.
I'm
All right.
gonna swim up to them, the pandemonium up there, and I'm gonna jab my spear in him instead.
Make an attack.
Give him a new one.
And disadvantage on the water, right?
Yep.
The spears actually don't have disadvantage.
Oh, because they're
Spears,
harpoon.
Triton.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
I'm still not good at it, though, so that's 3.
You don't want to stab the
Stabbing
shark
everything but him.
or Blackston. That's you're trying to be careful. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please don't stab me.
That's what you're trying to be. The vampire is just going to take more damage from the water, which is now at 7 feet, by the way.
Good, they stopped these idiots. They were not. So we asked for help, right? And all they did is make it more problematic. Is that the real thing?
Actually,
They gave you an
I'm going to
hour,
use my...
and then they saw a giant flare.
They're absolutely in the right. I'm just recapping.
This is what you give us.
Yeah.
Guy,
Yes.
I'm going to use my bonus action to use Assess Foe.
All right.
Ooh.
I analyze his psychic aura, more or less. So I learn his current hit points, his immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. You don't have to tell me the hit points. You can just tell me, is he dying or not? That's all I need to know.
All right. Well, I can tell you his current remaining hit points. Is that what you...
Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't learn his max.
Okay. His current remaining hit points is 100.
Oh,
That's fine.
Could be worse.
What else do you
He'll be
learn?
here for some time.
vulnerabilities, resistance,
Sunlight, water.
Vulnerabilities, yes.
and immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities.
Pierce through the heart
Crazy.
with a stake of wood. Sunlight sense.
Gonna backstab him with a ballista.
And his resistances.
Yes, if he
Necrotic,
has it.
bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical weapons.
Okay. So
I think you might
everything.
need to find the
Everything that's
magical
not magic. That's
harbour.
Yeah, okay.
My attacks are magical.
Yes, I know.
Just-
that's why
in
you
case
do
you don't.
damage. Yes. Okay. So that's Jorik's action.
That's my
Its
turn.
action is to try and just rip your face off, Blackston. It's
Sure.
hoping it can do that before you succeed in doing it.
Going full feral.
Yeah, it pretty much is. He has disadvantage, of course. 23, so that's a miss. He can't get it. He can't hit you.
That's good.
Crashing about at you, trying to.
It's me.
Yep, it's you.
All right. I still have. Okay, here's the question. Stake through the heart.
Mhm.
I mean, you said I would know this too because I asked earlier, right? So that's why I question. I have a club. Is that a stake? If I make
If you manage to shove it through his
If
chest,
you manage to succeed at a strength check, I'll say that it's a stake.
All right. So what do you want me to do to try to stake him with my
All right,
club?
so you're-
I'll get the disadvantage underwater, but
Yes,
I
make
mean,
your
wait
attack.
a minute. It probably would be better for me now that I know, but I don't know how much hit points he has to actually attack him because I actually can do damage to him quite a bit. But I'm not going to do it. I try to stake him. I think it's more interesting.
All
Okay,
right,
go ahead.
make your attack and then make a strength check if you succeed.
I'm about to stake that fucker.
25. So I have disadvantage. I have disadvantage too with the
Yeah.
stake.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's just 22.
That's still a hit.
All right. Do you want me to tell you the damage too?
Not yet, because I want to see if you can make your strength check. Give me a strength
So
check.
athletics or strength?
Athletics, because you're trying to force a non-sharpened object into someone's chest.
Yeah, not happening. Not this time.
No. All right. So
No.
what was your
I have a
damage?
second attack though. So I can maybe try it again. 8 points. So that's non-magical though. Do you allow me to smite him as well with it? I mean, I would just put everything I can in it, just no matter what.
Yeah, I
right?
suppose so. I suppose.
Okay.
Regular
So
attack.
then he gets 8 bludgeoning and another 23 radiant. And I'll try it again.
Sure.
So I'll just let loose of my longsword and then get the club, right? It's a crit,
Nice.
but it's disadvantage. Wait a minute, it's disadvantage, so it's a 21.
21 is still a hit.
So he takes 6 points next stake attempt. If it's still, can I try to stake him twice?
Yes, you can. You're just trying to push
Okay.
it through him. That's all that we're
Okay.
checking.
It's 18 this time.
Strength
I'll
of
give him the
eight.
smite nonetheless, because why not? That's another 19 points of radiant.
Good lord.
Nice.
Your strength check fails. He rolled a 19 to resist.
Okay,
All right,
but I still
so-
did damage. That's fine. It's
Yeah,
more than better than I hoped. I
it's-
thought I need to either or, so it's great.
How's my maths working? You got to
I don't know.
I'm cheating. I'm going 146, 129 because you added 29 damage, not.
So he now has 537 damage.
We healed him.
Damn it.
Oh,
Where did this come from? What?
turns out he's friends with Brax.
They're
in league!
He is, right.
Great.
All this time.
Okay, that's better. He's looking terrible. He's looking absolutely horrid. That's
Blah, blah,
Braxton.
blah.
Con.
I keep on biting.
Keep
Biting.
on biting. Keep on biting.
Biting.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Done with swimming. Now it's biting.
It's a natural 20.
Oh,
lovely.
nice.
Roll again.
Nice.
And that is a 16.
4 times damage. He's
And it's magical damage, right?
it is
Yeah.
magical damage.
Yeah, it is.
4 times, and holy crap, okay.
Thank you, Con.
So 19 times 4.
19 times 4.
That's a lot of damage.
76.
76, yes.
76.
That's now more than 100 damage.
That's
right?
it. That's it. That's it. All right.
You can't inhabit a body when it's in pieces.
No. The arm just gets off like the shoulder and it's just like shocked.
Fire down
You
his
most certainly can't. All right. So as you shred this creature, there's these brilliant lines of flame and fire which rip across the wounds, sort of trying to. Blackston and Jorik, you're so close, you can see what's happening, but the flames are trying to reach across the wounds to try and close it. But they just can't do it whilst this constant barrage of damage is just slamming against it. Adrasai, what are you going to do? There's a delay happening. You're going to fire into it.
I'm sort of at it and I'm sort of looking down. I don't know, like how obscured is this thing by
It's covered
Blackstone and
by
Shark?
Giant Shark, Blackston, and Jorik at the moment. So it's just a melee of mess.
Yeah, I think that would be.
I think that's the title of the episode.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not feeling confident in being able to hit that and not hit any of my friends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire a warning shot that's next to them so that basically Blackston, Jorik, and Con know what I'm about to do.
Right?
Like, we have someone on the ballista aiming at this thing. So if you want to get out of the way, I can shoot, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to fire into the water next to them.
Smart.
Roll a d20 and don't roll a 1.
1.
15.
All right.
Plus
so-
intelligence, 19.
There we go. You fire this massive bolt into this water wall, and to your horror, you see it hit the wall and stop.
Ricochet.
Yeah. It sort of very bluntly and then sort of slides down the side as if there was a force.
Very solid.
Correct.
All right. So they're inside the wall, but I can't shoot through it.
No, you're all inside the sphere. You're all inside.
All right, so they're not.
hit the inside of it.
We're inside
Oh,
the-
okay. So it's filling up, but it's okay. I got it.
Correct. That's great. So, Saket, you are outside of this dome, and you can see that it's now completely closed over. But the second figure standing on the hill overlooking this water dome now extends their hand out towards the sphere. And you can see these ice particles just starting to completely freeze over the sphere from where the blast hits them. And that's starting to grow now over the sphere as well.
I'm going to have to run for the Druids, aren't I?
Probably could.
I'll throw these healing potions at you if you don't stop.
Okay, so I grabbed the last remaining thingy off the drunken man who's the first officer who's helping me.
I'm still as my drink, he says as he sits down. I'm going to sit down.
That's good. You sit down right then. Hey, hill, uphill. Okay.
You're running up the hill towards the Druids with your flask, trying not to stop them.
Flask of death.
Right.
And then not death.
Not death because if it
It's
explodes
just like
in my
this
arms,
entire
right? It's
time,
just going
right?
to heal me. But
Flask of undead?
Basically, a flask of embedding glass shards into your body and then healing it up again.
And then heal it up.
Like,
Crazy.
think about 1,000 syringes.
Oh God! That's the worst invention I've ever heard.
First healing
All right.
ever.
So you're rushing up towards the hill to get there. Those of you that are inside of the dome, you witness as this flame, once it can't make connection across itself, the flame starts to turn black and the corpse starts to turn black. And that Blackson, as you're grappling, your hand starts to slide through this black sludge, which now starts to commingle with the water.
Right, to kind of dissolve.
Yeah, Con, the taste in your mouth goes from this rather horrid sulfuric taste. It now starts to taste like rotting flesh, which, although is not bad for a shark, the inner druid is going, this is getting weird now. It's like a black.
It's now getting weird, Con.
Yeah, now it's a black jelly of sorts. Jorik, you have first initiative. Would you please give me a perception check?
Yes, I can do that. That's 15.
This black inky sludge, which is sort of Blackston is in the middle of it because he was grappling the creature. Con's head is kind of buried in it because he was eating the creature. You can see underneath this black sludge, there is a single black, it looks like blackened metal, but it looks like an ankh of some description. Not very big, but it just slowly slides out of that black substrate and just lands on the bottom of the sphere.
Okay, I'm not gonna metagame this, but I'm gonna want to recover that. So
right.
I swim up to it and grab it.
With the helmet, I have a little bit more kind of an insight sometimes. Would I be able to kind of see this being dispersed, similar to what happens to his body?
So I'm just working through the initiative. So as you are, yes, Jorik, you grab that little item. It feels slightly warm to the touch. Blackston, as you are in the sludge, you can see the.
Can we stand at this point because of the draining?
It's now 4 foot. So yes, you starting to stand with this black stuff sort of everywhere. As the vampire was dying,
Essence of Ulkov.
The demon was being sucked away from it, sucked into a central black point, sort of clawing and cursing and trying to pull in all different directions. But it eventually kind of got lost in the black sludge, but it kind of got sucked into a void. And once it was gone, then the vampire's actual form just completely sludged away, turned into this black, oily substance.
And would I still be able to, I mean, I see him probably swimming there, or specifically maybe I don't realize this, but my question is, would this ankh, this whatever it is, be kind of on my radar at all?
It isn't.
Okay, so then I just say I don't see it. I'm just saying, like, if this is into there, then
it doesn't glow. No, it doesn't glow.
Okay.
It doesn't glow. And that is where we will leave it. Very long session.
Yes.
Thank you for staying with us. We'll do a recap next week, I think, when everyone's had time to reflect.
Digest.
We're now an hour over our regular running time. So I hope you have enjoyed this epic combat. Where our heroes did some rather ingenious things, including sinking our beloved Windswift. I think Windswift has got...
Not technically sunk.
Well, not technically.
To be underwater.
Yeah.
It's in a sphere of water.
Water ran out.
Frozen.
I just want to ask one question before we go. Guy, did he roll a 1 on that or on that prayer to Brax? Did he roll like
1%? I rolled 1% for Blackston. That's why I looked down. I was like,
yes, that was my suspicion.
Yeah.
I could see it on your face. I could see the one on your face.
I was like, okay, well, that's a good prayer, so I'm going to give you 5% because it was a great prayer. It was nice. It was heartfelt, and I rolled. It was like 1%. It's like, well,
Drax is here, man.
Here we go.
Absolutely. Yes, I mean, it didn't do a huge amount of stuff for Blackston. It did improve his
Give him
armor
some
class.
confidence.
But
I mean, I would have done it either way. I wouldn't have behaved any differently.
I mean, I'm fascinated that the only damage I got was from myself. I have 3 hit points. I nearly nuked myself out of oblivion.
You're the first one getting hit with a healing potion then.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. And hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And until next time, from me and the rest of the crew of the Windswift, we bid you goodbye.